Welcome to Season 1, Episode 1 of Next Level Gamescast, the Level Up Network's monthly gaming talk show. I'm one of your co-hosts, Andrew. I make the show Midori, and I am joined tonight by the classy douchebag Mike McLaughlin.
Hola!
We've got the tech guru, Agent Vincent.
Hello.
And, of course, the voice, Jersey Tom.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome into another episode.
I was really hoping we were gonna go with some different I was hoping Tom would come in with German or something like that.
Just the same line, but in German, and next week just a different language each time. Well, Tom, you know what to do now each month.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess now I got to start learning in different languages. God knows if I can do that.
No big deal. No big deal.
How
How you guys doing? How are y'all doing tonight?
Doing.
I'm doing.
You're
Doing
doing.
all
We're
right,
doing.
I'm doing.
Yeah. You know what? I realized on the last show that I have not been doing something I really should be doing. At the start and throughout these shows, I have not been giving shout outs to Vince and Tom. I'm so sorry for that. So please, everybody in the chat, follow Vince and Tom on their respective channels as well. You can get those links very easily in chat with !Vince and !Tom. And they're fantastic streamers.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Drew.
Thank you.
That's why we chose them.
You lie, but thank you.
The elites.
Yeah.
Got to be a
we
part
tried.
of this thing. And of course, everybody hit that follow button here at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. If you enjoyed this show at any point tonight, if you're watching or listening to tonight's episode as an archive, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever is your service of choice. If you really, really enjoy the show, you can go above and beyond with a Twitch subscription. You can cheer, you can tip. We've already got things coming in. We've got subs. We've got huge tippies coming in. We got a stagger tippy that came in from Duroc already. We might have to do a little extension tonight. Actually, it's already been activated. After show has been activated. 30-minute after show for myself, at the least. Vince, Tom, if you would like to stick around, you are welcome to. Don't feel like you have to. But if you guys want to go above and beyond, we can go to 60 minutes as well. $60 in tips tonight. We'll activate the full hour of after show, which is just all about talking with you guys, chilling out, listening to some music that is allowed to be listened to here on Twitch, and maybe taking some video requests and all that good stuff. So thank you so much right off the bat to Rock for coming in with that huge tippy. And I already described NLG After Show. Type in !After Show in the chat at any point if you want to learn a little bit more about that. And lastly, NLG is a very interactive talk show. We utilize Discord in a major way. So join us at discord.gg/The Level Up Network. Become a part of this community even when the show is not live. On last month's episode, final episode of Season 0, we had a contentious battle during that episode. We were determining the top 5 games of the previous generation. Turned out to be The Last of Us Part 2, taking that #1 spot for the top game of the previous generation. But we also dropped a lot of gaming knowledge and expertise, I would say. Mike, I think we need to make this official. How did we perform overall on last month's episode of Next Level Gamescast?
Ooh boy, that means it's time for fake fans. Guys, this is where you get to tell us why we're wrong, and then we get to argue about it with you. Benefit for us, though, is that we're still not wrong. 2 episodes, nothing wrong. Either you guys are lazy, or we're just that good. So I don't know which it is,
I
but
think it's a little bit of both.
probably mostly the latter. But even if it's not, even if I say something really stupid, you guys get to go and call me out, and I can't really do anything about it. And that's kind of the only time I can't do anything about it. I usually will bite back. So go to our Discord. If I say anything stupid, Tom says anything dumb, Vince stumbles over words, or Drew just completely blanks out and says some ridiculous shit, go to our Discord. Surgeon Derbider. Please go to our Discord. Call us out in the #FakesFans, and we will make sure you get credit and points, and you make us look stupid.
I think we should start peppering in obviously incorrect statements throughout the
I
episodes
will
just to
be
see if
honest
somebody.
with you. I did last week. No one called me out on it.
Oh,
I'm
what
going
was
to
it? Do you
again this
remember?
week. No.
Don't
I
remember.
did
Just
call you
at
out
one
on
point.
one thing last week, and I can't even remember what it was.
Yeah, Jersey Tom corrected you. He's like, I just want to get ahead of this right now. We don't want to have a fake fans for the first time in 3 episodes. Well, you guys know what to do now. Please. We want to make this into a segment. We're just brushing by. This is supposed to be Mike's moment to shine, and you guys aren't giving it to him. Come on.
Shine
guys.
like that bald head.
Come
what?
on.
Yeah.
But that means we get to move a little faster tonight on to another segment. You guys can also utilize Discord in this. It's called NLG's Got Game. It is where you take advantage of our gaming knowledge and expertise. You try and stump us live on the show with a challenge, a mini game, a trivia, whatever you want to do. This month, I should say, we got a real good one coming in from They Call Me Denny. He submitted this topic: video game themes, two truths and a lie. User submitted. He came through with all of them. We got 4 of them tonight, all coming in from Denny, which is really awesome. So pretty much, you guys know how this works. I'm going to read off 3 statements. I don't know the answers either, just to let you know. He spoiler tagged the answers, so we're all playing this together. We're all going to work together. I don't think this is really like a competition. We're just trying to figure this out together. Which statement of the 3 is a lie?
And some of these are pretty good.
These are very good, I have to say. I've read through them, and I thought they were great. So let's bring in the first set of statements. I'll read them all for you. During the early stages of development, Batman Arkham Asylum was prototyped as a rhythmic action game. Number 2, Rockstar Games' early version of Grand Theft Auto was a top-down taxi driver simulator. And number 3, Assassin's Creed series was originally going to be a Prince of Persia spin-off. Okay.
It's gotta be number 1.
That's funny you say that. Sometimes it's like you think that's so bizarre it's got to be true, but then Denny came up with these, so he's pretty clever. In that
and these
way.
I've just read through some of these pretty briefly. Here's why it has to be number 1 in my opinion, if you guys don't mind. Grand Theft Auto was a top-down taxi driver simulator, essentially.
It was definitely top-down. I remember that. Yeah.
Well, it was a taxi driver simulator, like the movie. Right, and you can actually tell how it was set up in the original game. So if he's talking about the original, like Genesis, style Grand Theft Auto game, I believe that one. Assassin's Creed, if I remember right, actually this was even talked about in a dev doc. How they went into Assassin's Creed 1 and then they realized it was its own thing and it didn't really fit in with everything in Prince of Persia and that it could be its own thing and they brought in a whole new team for it. So. That's just
I agree. I feel like I have heard the Assassin's Creed being a Prince of Persia spin-off thing before. I'm not sure about number 2, but yeah, number 1 is definitely the most bizarre of the 3, right?
It definitely is. I mean, 3 seems like 3, and I didn't see the same dev doc that Mike did, or if I did, I can't remember it. But that one and Rockstar's 3 and 2 seem like they're the most reasonable.
Right.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in this. I think number 3 is a lie. Because Assassin's Creed was made to get away from Prince of Persia. Because Ubisoft had to pay the licensing fee for Prince of Persia. They don't own that license. They do now, but they didn't at the time, from what I remember. And from what I remember in the original, and learning about Batman Arkham Asylum, is that, yes, it was developed as a rhythmic action game. It was.
I mean, are you sure about that? If so, we can't.
Yeah, then I'll go with you.
Yeah, because like that's the thing is, I remember very early on, from what I remember, is that they developed it as they worked. Remember, Enter the Matrix?
Yeah,
they worked with that type of same. They worked with that same stuff, but then they developed it to where like they wanted to have like this rhythmic aspect to it, to where enemies could keep coming in, and you would keep flowing through the enemies, so that way you'd kind of have that whole. Power fantasy of like you're the Batman, you're taking enemies down one by one, like simultaneously if you're doing these perfect combos, right? But then they realized that like that kind of constrained where they were doing with the environment, and that's whenever they started pulling the camera back, and then they went back into the 3D fight arena, and they based some of the stuff off of the right analog stick, like Jet Li's Rise of Honor. I'm sorry, was another like game that they looked at while they were developing that.
Okay.
Vince's conversation is way longer than mine, so I'm going to go with
Vince coming in with that knowledge and expertise.
I mean, I think, it's one of those things where like you're like, I remember this, but now it's like, wait a minute.
I mean, if you're wrong, you're dead to me. It's not a big deal.
So I'm going to go with Vince on this one. We're going with number 3. Assassin's Creed series was originally going to be a Prince of Persia spinoff as the lie, and we are all wrong. It was 2.
Was it number 2?
2. 2. It was never supposed to be a taxi driver simulator. It was top down. But it was never meant to be a taxi driver simulator. So that was the lie.
I'm guessing the actual phrase, it being a simulator, was probably what is the most.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
This on number 1.
Wow.
I saved
Yeah,
this does not count for fake fans. This is different.
Different,
Number
very
2.
different, yes.
Number two, set number two. In 007 GoldenEye Rare, originally intended to include Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, and Sean Connery as playable characters. Number two, with 4,061,129 words spread across 220 chapters, a Smash Bros. Fan fiction story called The Subspace Emissaries World's Conquest is one of the longest works of literature in the English language. Okay, somehow I've never heard of this, if this is true.
I would throw down actual money that is true.
I agree. That's just too weird not to be true.
Too weird.
And also, I have to say, I know this third one is false. I'm very positive on it. Ms. Pac-Man was born out of a glitch in the original Pac-Man where parts of the sprite of the Red Ghost Blinky would sometimes appear on the Pac-Man sprite. I watched a documentary very recently about how arcade cabinets were sort of modded and hacked, and that's how Ms. Pac-Man came about, is that they had like a hack that was a different version of Pac-Man, and then they decided to turn that into Ms. Pac-Man. Right. So I'm pretty sure 3 is the lie in this case.
Yeah, we need to watch episode 3 of that too.
Yeah. So, let's see, we're right here, and... we are right. C is the incorrect statement. So we got one. We're 1 for 2 here. All right, moving on to set number 3. When Mario made his debut in Donkey Kong, his profession was carpenter.
Good old Conky Dong.
Good old Conky Dong. His profession was a carpenter since the game took place at a construction site. Number 2. Cloud's bike from Advent Children was originally going to be featured as a drivable vehicle in Gran Turismo 4. And 3, Xbox was originally named as Direct Xbox as a reference to Microsoft's graphics API, DirectX. I'm almost positive the third one's true. I remember that being the case. 2, I'm almost positive is false. I feel like I would have remembered Advent Children being a vehicle within Gran Turismo 4. The timing, I think, lines up. Advent Children came out in 2004, and I'm pretty sure Gran Turismo 4 came out a little bit after that, towards the end of the PS2 generation. So the timing lines up, but man, I feel like I would remember that. And number 1 makes sense. I feel like that one makes sense. What do you guys think?
Number 1 seems correct from what I remember from every YouTube video I've ever seen detailing the beginnings of Nintendo. It seems like that is like one of the things that's like, oh, I read this on Wikipedia that he was a construction worker. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 2. I don't think there's any chance that they were intending to put Advent Children's bike into Gran Turismo 4. I don't think there's ever been any bikes in Gran Turismo, is there?
I think it started with one of them. I don't remember which one it was, though. Doesn't one of them have bikes?
I don't think so. I actually think that was Drive Club. I don't think they've had bikes in Gran Turismo.
Well, then that really makes
I don't think. I don't know. I don't really think so, though.
What is Mario's profession now? Because he's not even a plumber anymore, right? Didn't they sort of change that?
No, I mean he's everything. He's had every job in
he's an everyman.
Yeah, he's done everything.
He's Peach's bitch.
That's definitely true.
Right,
that's not necessarily his profession, though.
No, he's paid to be Peach's bitch.
Oh wow, that's a good job to have.
Yeah,
I would take that job.
With how often that she gets kidnapped, I mean, you got to have someone who's your bitch.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. So we're going with B then. Cloud's bike from Advent Children was originally going to be featured as a drivable vehicle in Gran Turismo 4, and we are correct. That is the wrong statement. We're now 2 for 3, and the final set submitted by They Call Me Denny. Steam sales were intended to be a one-off thing until publishers and developers pushed Valve to do it more due to the amount of income they received from copies being sold. Okay. 2, Dragon Quest is so popular in Japan that it is unlawful to release the game on weekdays due to children and adults not showing up for work or school to play it. I think that's true. Yes. And 3, Aerosmith made more money from Guitar Hero than from any one of its albums. Wow, that would be pretty crazy. But
this is tough.
That kind of makes sense.
I mean, how does Aerosmith made less money from potentially Armageddon soundtrack than anything else? Let's be real.
Right?
Yeah, that was pretty big. But man, Guitar Hero was huge, absolutely massive at one point. So I kind of can believe it. I don't know.
Here's why I think number 1 is false. And I think it's false because if I remember right, many devs actually hated it because they lost a ton of money when they were doing it. Like, it would actually promote, because what happened was people stopped buying games at full price waiting for the next Steam sale.
That's what I remember too. And I remember there was also no adjustment from Valve on its cut as well. Right. So they were selling the games at less price, but they were still taking that like big initial 30% chunk as well, from what I remember.
Now, I think you guys are correct that they probably hate it afterwards. But in the initial one, because what that question specifically saying is it was supposed to be a one-off, and they did it once, and then devs were like, no, keep doing it.
But here's the thing: what doesn't make sense with it is it's the wording. So here's the thing: it could be Denny kind of mashing up the words that they read, but due to the amount of income they receive from copies being sold, that's not what you would be after in this sense. When you're in for a sale like this, you're after market share, not income, and you're not making much income because your games are being sold at a loss.
Yeah, I think it's 1. I think 1's incorrect.
I'm gonna say 3.
It's gonna be 1 or 3.
Yeah, I'm almost positive 2 is correct.
Oh no,
Here's the thing.
I'd throw money down on 2 as well.
Right,
Just
2
the
I'm
only-
almost certain is correct.
The only question I have about 3 is they never made like an Aerosmith version of Guitar Hero, right? I
Yes,
know
they
they made
did.
like a what?
They did. They made an Aerosmith Guitar
Yeah, Guitar
Hero.
Hero
A
Aerosmith.
dedicated Guitar Hero Aerosmith there was.
Yeah, it was like its own boxed game.
Yep.
And
Just
then
like the
you could
Beatles
still
had their own
buy-
one. Well, that was
Well,
Rock
then
Band,
I thought
though.
that was AC/DC who had their own box game from Guitar
They might have
Hero.
as well, but I am almost positive that Aerosmith had their dedicated Guitar Hero game.
Well, then that would make sense where they made more money then because of the licensing right there.
Oh, yeah, and how much that sold.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just looked it up now. They were cartoons.
Okay, let's go with 1
1.
being the incorrect statement, and we are correct. 3 for 4. Number 1 was the incorrect statement. Not bad, you guys. And also, amazing job from Denny. That was a really
That was
great.
awesome.
That was really well put together. I like that.
Yeah,
I really.
I could do that every single month.
Way to
I
go,
love
Teddy.
it.
Way to go, buddy. Best friend of Jersey Tom.
Good friend. Yeah, man.
I was gonna say of the show, but I feel like that was a
The thing
little
is
too
that-
much.
The thing is that you're not wrong. He very much is my best friend.
Thank you so much, Denny. And everybody, please get on our Discord at discord.gg/the Level Up Network. Go to the hashtag NLG's Got Game channel and make sure to submit, your trivia, your mini game. It doesn't have to be something that puts us in a competition. It could be something like today. That was a lot of fun. I feel like all
That was a lot
3
of fun.
have been great so far. You guys are killing it. Absolutely killing it with these segments. And now we get to move on to what we've been playing this past month. For me, I'm really excited that I finally get to talk about Animal Crossing New Horizons. Guys, it might be the best game I've ever played in my life. I'm sorry. It's not. I just want to bust
Here's
Mike's
what
balls.
sucks
It's a
about
little
it.
bit.
though.
Let me tell you something. It's no bug snacks. I can give you that right now.
Oh wow.
So here's the backstory. Mike really thought I would not like Animal Crossing.
And Vince and I had this conversation. I'm not wrong, am I, Vince?
I don't think so.
So here's the thing.
Not wrong about what?
About you not liking it. You got to play a very
Fast track. You bought the
Yes.
premium battle pass and got you to 12
Yes.
25.
I did. There's no doubt about that. So yeah. So what happened was I sort of put myself out there from the very beginning, wanting sugar mommies and sugar daddies within Animal Crossing. I called out to the heavens, and I was answered by a lot of people. So many people came in to the stream, and I would friend them. They would come to the island, and they would just give me millions of bells and gold tools and like everything, like probably months ahead of what I would normally get them at as far as pacing goes. But it made it so exciting, and it made it so fun and community driven, and it's been a blast. It's been an absolute blast for the whole month.
That, and I'm glad you did it for that reason. If it had not been for that, I think you would have not played it more than one stream. I think you would have played it for a stream, played it off stream, and been like, you know what, I'm not feeling it, and I'll do something else, and maybe I'll come back to it one day. But because of that, and because of how great it's been for your stream, that's awesome. But if you had played it
Here's
the way
the
that
thing.
we all
Let me interrupt you. I think that I would have actually liked it no matter what, but I don't think it would have been a good stream game for me if I had a normal pacing with it.
no, I
Because
agree.
I've been playing it off stream a fair bit, a lot with Evie. Evie was playing it for over an hour today. She's really starting to like it a lot. And we're having a great time with it, just, chipping away. I really, really appreciate that it is true schedule of like 24/7. These are days, and you've got to wait. And I have not been cheating in that way. Derek Passenger Jazz says I'm cheating, but I have not been cheating in that way. I have not time traveled at all, because I really respect that about the game. That if you blow up a bridge, guess what? Like, no, like you have to wait until the next day, and then if you want to build another bridge there, you got to wait another day. Like, I actually really respect that about the game, that they force you to wait, and in every every day starts off with some announcements and, hey, this day you might have a competition or a tournament for catching bugs. I really, really enjoy that aspect of the game. So I think I would have been into that no matter what. But yes, I do agree as far as a streaming game, it would not have been a good fit for me, especially if it was the pace that I'm experiencing off stream. I agree. But what a fun game. What a great community-driven game. It's actually one of my favorite multiplayer experiences that I've had throughout streaming, because you guys know me, I'm not much of a competitive guy, but having this experience of meeting so many strangers, having them come in, oh, you want to come to my island and check out my shit? And I go there and they've got literally millions of bells just scattered throughout the island for people to pick up, or just presents scattered everywhere. It's just so cool to see what people have put together, and for the entire purpose of, you know, being supportive of other people coming into Animal Crossing. And clearly that was the case too, because so many people, you know, heeded the call of sugar mommies and sugar daddies. They wanted to come in and help out. I thought that was really, really neat. So yeah, Animal Crossing New Horizons actually turned out to be one of my favorite streaming games of 2020. Or I guess it would be 2020 and 21 now. It was a little bit of both. I can't remember where I started at, but I really did enjoy it a lot. So moving on. Mike, you played more Destiny 2. I don't think you really wanted to chime in on that again.
No, just Destiny 2, Assassin's Creed. Nothing crazy, nothing new. So
okay, yeah. So we'll go to Vince, who has been playing Hitman 1 and 2. Very nice.
Yeah, I've been replaying Hitman 1 and 2, getting prepped for Hitman 3 on Wednesday, of all days. And it's been fun. It's been an interesting stream game. I kind of warned everybody about it in the Discord. I think you guys kind of saw the conversation that the game has a very up and down. It's not a constantly action game and everything like that. But I've been playing it on stream, a little bit off stream as well. And I forgot actually how much I really it takes a minute to get into it. But then like I was playing it last night as well for a little bit after I was done with the stream, and I was just like, I love these challenges. I love trying to figure out these puzzles natures. And sometimes the best thing too about it was just like accidentally stumbling on upon like, wait a minute, this is an opportunity to assassinate someone, and like there was that kind of hilarity that assumes there with it, and it's just I can't wait for number 3. I really can't.
Yeah, we got a couple things to talk about that tonight too.
We do. But yeah, overall, it's been really fun. I really miss. It was funny how I was talking with some people in my chat as well when they were coming in and out of the stream. I really missed the episodic format of Hitman 1. Like Hitman 2 when it came out was great and all, but I actually didn't finish it until like a couple months later because it was like everything was there. There was no drive to finish it. Whereas like when Hitman 1 was doing the episodic nature, where they did Paris first, then Sapienza, and then I can't remember the title of it already, but they were releasing once every month, and there was just something really cool about you were able to go into a level and like that was it. That was the level that you kept replaying over and over again. You kept seeing this pattern or this pattern change, or if I take this guy out, this whole thing changes. The AI changes the entire schedule there. There's this whole Swiss cheese variation of the levels, and it's so much fun. Like once you start cracking into it, well, because like there's puzzle. It's like you have like the way it's where like if you go in this way, you might come out this way, but if you go in the other way, you might get this entire other thing that happens too. I mean, that was fun about it. Like Paris, the very first level, I'm hoping I'm not going over time here. You can assassinate the guy with the 2 targets so many different ways, but one of the most cinematic ways is throwing down this entire skylight on this dude when he's walking out on the walkway. But the only way that happens is if you get but the thing is, the only way that happens is if you make sure the head fashion dude is stormed off and having a thing to where he's not available to walk on that way. You have to set up all these chess pieces to pull off this perfect assassination, and it's so much fun when you get it to click.
I get that, but I think what we've seen from episodic games is they can really result in a terrible crunch culture because of the need to have that pacing correct. And I think especially with the Telltale games, you could see that they would start falling behind. And also with the Life is Strange games, they would really start falling behind. And everybody's like clamoring for new episodes so that they don't feel like it's become disjointed or too far apart that they've lost interest.
That by making the game and then releasing it episode.
You're 100% correct. And it sounds like that's what they're doing.
That's what IO did with Hitman 1.
Right.
But people just rejected that model because they wanted everything all at once.
Yeah, and I know Wolf Among Us 2, supposedly they're doing that, where the entire game is going to be complete, and they're still going to do it some episodic way. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I'm glad that they're doing that because I don't think the format needs to go away. It's just they need to figure out how to handle it better internally so that they aren't crunching and missing dates and all that. But yeah, I'm really excited for Hitman, and we'll talk about Hitman 3 in a little bit. Tom, let's move on to you. What have you been playing this month?
I've still been playing Demon Souls and still trying to get through that. I've been a little held back, unfortunately, because I've just been. In case you guys didn't know, there's things been going on in the world lately, and that's been keeping me busy at work. So I haven't had the easiest time trying to get in and play some extra games, but I've still been having fun with it. I mean, I'm still going through doing a strength build. Going as my super paladin, praising the sun every chance I get, even though that's not part of this game. But it's dude, it's just a fun, great medieval style hack and slash type of game. I highly recommend anybody, like, don't be too afraid of like everybody talking about how hard it is. And yes, there will be moments where it's frustrating, but you got to start thinking about it. Like I remembered the fact, and this didn't come immediately back to me, was the fact that you gotta like bounce around to different levels constantly. Mm-hmm. Like you can't be trying to do a straight shot through any one of these archstones. Like you got to jump from archstone to archstone to archstone. By the way, F the Chasm of Despair. That place freaking.
I don't know if I got there or not.
Yeah, the Valley of Despair.
Valley of Despair.
That place sucks. I hate it.
That place is the absolute worst. Like Denny watched me try to get through that, and it is an absolute nightmare.
Denny saying get good in the chat.
Yeah. By the way.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, Denny was surprisingly good at this game.
Oh, Denny's very good at this game. He understands how to get through it. I was just having the toughest time, and I don't know if it was a mental thing. Sometimes you get that mental block in your head where like you start getting through like the stuff that should be easy, but then you get frustrated because you just died toward the end, and now I'm spending like 5 deaths in a row.
That's what got me with that place with the stingrays. It's just like the boss battle was more satisfying and easier, honestly, than just traveling to the boss. In that case, just dealing with all those stingrays, I was like, I don't want to deal with this over and over again, the travel time and these stingrays just hitting me with like 5 different glass bullets from every direction. That was what really did it for me. I'm sure I'll go back to the game eventually on my own, but I need to take a break after that. I was like, I can't do this. This is just too frustrating.
The other thing worth noting is on the screen now, you're seeing the fight with the Flame Lurker. You can't get too stuck with the idea of trying to stick to one style necessarily, because I was still rocking my heavy armor and I was having a tough time dodging, and I didn't realize, the reason why I'm having such a tough time is maybe I should get lighter so that my dodges go further. That just makes a little bit more sense. So, you gotta play around with your loadout. Don't get too attached to any one thing that you have. And just experiment. And this game, it just loves the ability for you to experiment. And, that's really the best thing I can say for everybody to try and do is like play this game, experiment with the loadouts, experiment with the weapons and different fighting styles. The game allows you to have 3 characters that you can switch back and forth between. So just do it. Play the game, enjoy it. Blue Point did a hell of a job. And
yeah, it's one of the best launch titles to come out in a long time.
Another game where I really hope that Sony decides to really give Blue Point a chance to, really spread their wings and do something else.
If they want to, right? It depends on what they want to do. But if they wanted to keep doing remakes, let them do it. But if they want a new IP, then they definitely should have that opportunity. But anyway, I think that's enough of these fancy newfangled games. I think we need to take a look back, Vince.
Look back, huh?
We have to go back.
Everyone, this would be our segment for how you're reviewing. But there is no how you're reviewing this time around because January's pretty slow right now. We don't even have Hitman 3 scores. It looks like Hitman 3 scores aren't even supposed to drop until Tuesday night. So there really wasn't anything for us to review from what I could tell. And even with me looking around recently, I think there might have been a few small games that released, but nothing too major. So we're going to move on to our critical cut segment. And we're going to do a critical cut of Resogun, one of the best PS4 Plus games when it first came out. And
launch PS Plus game.
Yeah, launch PS Plus game. It's crazy on how old that game is now. And we split the critical cut up with between presentation, gameplay, and impact. And so we'll start off with presentation. And Drew, I'm gonna let you go with this first. Presentation of this game. How'd you feel about it?
Save the last humans. That man, Kristen, got so annoyed of that sound over and over and over again because I played this game way too much. Now we kind of know there's not really like a story here. You are doing that. You're saving the last humans, at least in the main campaign mode, if you want to call it that. But what is the presentational, sort of what would you call it? Impact or cliche or gimmick of this game is the voxels. That's
oh my gosh.
what this game has going on from a presentational aspect.
Language.
Every single level of the 5, I want to say, is built up of these tiny little cubes. And what is so satisfying, you can see it on screen right now, is when you blow stuff up and the entire surroundings just disintegrates into these tiny little voxel blocks, and the game never falls below 60 FPS. It's like really it's stellar from a performance standpoint, especially in those final moments where you blow everything up. It's really neat looking. It's a simple concept, and you can see it as sort of a revolution map to it, where you're just going around this cylinder in the center. So there's not a lot going on, but it still impressed me, especially as a launch title, and it was my favorite launch title for a long time. I think even looking back to past consoles way back, you don't get a lot of consoles that have a great launch title. This one was free on PS Plus, and it looked great, it played great, and it had such great lasting appeal, as we'll talk about in a moment. What do you think, Vince?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. It's so crazy whenever you see everything just exploding. Everything just is exploding. You just have these voxels flying off the screen, around the screen, all physically bouncing around, everything like that. It is a looker for sure, especially when
this is Housemarque, of course.
Has anybody tried it on PS5?
No, I have not.
No.
I'm very curious if it got like a bump of any sort.
That'd be an interesting.
Maybe 4K, HDR, 60 FPS.
I think it actually got a pro update to where it did go to 4K, I believe, and maybe HDR, but I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah. Yeah, but to say real quick, this is a Housemarque game, and Housemarque, of course, very well known for great arcade titles. They did go on to do Dead Nation. They went on to do Matterfall and Nex Machina. Nex Machina specifically, which I haven't played. I heard amazing things about. But these guys, they know arcade so well, as we'll talk about right now.
Oh yeah, with gameplay. I mean, guys, I think anyone who's all played this, I mean, there's not much you can criticize gameplay-wise for this game. It's tight. Yes. Controls tight. It plays well. And it's a simple, but it's got that complex loop to where it's like just keeps throwing more and more at you, and you just gotta keep going for it, right?
Yeah, Mr. Platinum.
Yeah,
I want to. he was bragging before the stream about platinuming the Rezo gun.
Yeah, look,
so what do you think?
This was my first PlayStation 4 Platinum. I mean, it was, and I loved every second of it. Look, guys, I mean, who would have thought that just making an awesome looking Defender would be great? Because that's all this game is. The game is just Defender. Right. And look, if Housemarque just wants to go and just remake arcade games and make them like this, make them visually outstanding, and just keep the gameplay looking playing fantastic. Look, it's tight. It just plays well. Everything is responsive, and like you said, keeping it at a steady 60. It moves like butter, and to be able to launch a game on a system and try to show off what a system can do, even in a simple game that doesn't really, this is not pushing any boundaries gameplay wise, but it is a visual feast, and it really helped sell, I think, a lot of people, including myself, onto the PlayStation 4 was going to be the place to be.
Yeah, I just remember that feeling when you were in the zone, right, in this game, where you talking about like buttery smooth, right? I would get these moments where I couldn't believe like what I was doing. Actually, I was almost like impressing myself, where I was like, how am I somehow moving throughout? Like, it's bullet hell, right? It's bullet hell and enemy hell, because sometimes you have dozens, if not, it seems like 50 enemies on screen, all swarming you. A lot of them like real tiny enemies as well, and you are just like zigging and zagging, and it seems like you're a millimeter away from touching them and dying, and you're somehow getting through all these little moments, and when you do, you feel like the ultimate badass, and it's really satisfying.
Vince, would you consider this to be like bullet hell adjacent?
Yeah, a little bit. It's not quite as extreme as like something like
it's not Ikaruga. It's nowhere near anything like that.
But it's good. But it's close. You know what I'm saying? Like it's good. That's the point where you can kind of get like trained on that. But let's move on here to the impact of the game. And to kind of focus more on impact, it's kind of crazy to see where Housemarque went from like Super Stardust HD, Dead Nation on PS3, a couple other games, to Resogun on PS4, and a few other games on PS4, to where a couple years ago they were like, arcade is dead.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. I mean, they were known as the arcade developers, and now we have their new project, Returnal, being a AAA bullet hell roguelike experience.
Yeah, to give a
Still
little bit more background, they were considering doing a battle royale. They were ditching arcade, as Vince just said, and they were going to do Storm Riders or something.
Yeah, they even had like a trailer for it and everything.
It looked so sort of by the numbers. It was obviously the wrong direction for them to go in, but at the same time, their games weren't selling as well as they needed them to. So you understood it, like that they needed to do something, but that didn't seem like the right fit for them. And I'm guessing that's when Sony stepped in and was like, no, this is what you do. You do arcade, but let's see what the evolution of that is. And as we see on screen right now, Returnal is the evolution. It is third-person action arcade, bullet hell arcade. Yeah. And it really seems like this might be their sweet spot.
I mean, yeah, just based on some of the small little sections of gameplay that they have shown us, especially the latest trailer, this game looks, this is going to be, I feel like, I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, Tom, but I feel like this is going to be a difficult game at certain points because it's going to be so much coming at you.
Yeah, they're going to throw so much stuff. Like, people who aren't used to the idea of bullet hell are going to likely be extremely frustrated with this. But, you know, it's going to be one of those things exactly as Denny's been telling me in the chat with Demon Souls. You just got to get good. You're gonna need to start recognizing the patterns and start like pre-planning your way out there.
It's going to be like Hades or any of those roguelites where the first couple runs, you're going to die super early and you're going to feel discouraged, but then you're going to suddenly, on a new run, you're going to get a new weapon, or you're going to get a new ability, or you're going to get a new buff. In this game, I think they're parasites that attach to you that also have debuffs as well. They've got a lot of good ideas here, and you can see where all of their different games are kind of coming together here. Like they're taking little bits and pieces from all of them and they're merging them into this one really cool concept that looks like a AAA game as far as the visuals go, and the speed, as you said, it's just the performance. Hopefully you can keep up. That's the one thing that I hope they nail, because I do see some frame drops and some hitches here and there in some of these trailers, but they got 2 months left. That's what they need to get right. If they can get the performance right and the longevity right, the impact, the lasting appeal, I think Returnal could be fantastic. We're going to talk about it more later because we got a couple bets coming up as far as that goes. But now it is time for our ratings, our medals. Let you start, Vince.
For me, I've been really thinking about the last couple days, and you know, I think it was a really impactful game to be a free plus title for sure for the early part of the generation. And I remember playing this game on and off throughout the entire PS4 generation. So I don't feel like it's a diamond or a platinum level for me, but it's definitely a gold title. Okay. It's definitely an awesome experience. I wish there could have been some more with it. It is a very small.
They did have some DLC.
Game. They did have some DLC, but like if you compare it to something like Dead Nation felt like an actual like game. You know what I'm saying? That's like the kind of only thing that kind of pulls a little bit from Resogun for me. Is like it feels like an experience title, but it's a really well polished.
I feel like
experience.
Honestly, what you're saying there is that it feels like an arcade game, and because some people do look at arcade games as not full-fledged games because they don't have a story or a campaign that you go through or anything like that. It's just the same thing over and over again. It's beating your score is the point of an arcade game, and that's what Resogun is in the end. But that's also what gives Resogun longevity if you're into that kind of thing, because you can always try and beat your score. You can always try and beat somebody else's score, and that's what hooked me, because I spent 100+ hours playing Resogun, specifically Demolition mode, which I was damn good at. I'll be completely honest with you. I was like in like the top 50 in the world in Demolition mode. So I really got hooked on to that, and it kept me going for a long time. So I think that it is a full game for me, and considering how much time I put into it and how much I enjoyed that, I've got to give it a platinum myself.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Mike, what about you? What do you think of Resogun?
What do you think I would give it?
I think you would give it like a silver, honestly. You're not that type of person. You don't like bullet hell. You don't like real like challenging arcade games. So I'm going to say silver at the most for you.
No, this is actually going to be a platinum for me.
What? No. What?
So This game is one
Mike
that
likes
I've gone
these.
to off and on, but I'm not good at them, and that's I think my problem is that I play them, I get frustrated, I'm just like fuck it, I'll do something else. That's my one.
There it is.
So it's one of those things where while I might not appreciate it fully when I'm in it, I can appreciate it very well after the fact. And I know what I'm looking at, and I know greatness when I see it. And there is something really special there. And believe it or not, actually watching Drew play it is really what's giving me that push to make it a platinum. Because while I played and I had fun and I wasn't good at it, I could see that there was great foundation there. And Drew showed me how much better it could be through his top 10 in the world playthrough.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Not top 10, but I was pretty good. I was pretty good. Before we go to Tom here, not a lot of people voted in the chat, but we got a 7 in chat, and I've never played it. So you guys need to play Resogun.
Wow.
That's what you need to do in chat.
Yes,
Make it happen. Tom, what do you think, Mr. Platinum?
Well, look, I don't know. I don't know if people are gonna look at this as me like slighting, but I'm actually gonna go silver, to be honest with you.
Ooh.
Okay.
Now, this
you.
isn't so much of a it's not so much of a criticism on the game itself, but to be perfectly honest, and I agree with you, Drew. I don't think it being an arcadey game is anything against it. I don't knock that against it.
Okay.
Like I still feel like it's a full game.
But you do.
But I do. But my issue with it is look, I can't tell you the last time I actually thought about Resogun until we brought it up in the Discord.
How dare you?
Like I can't
think about it every
say
day.
because at the end of the day, look, as I said, the gameplay isn't really it's not really breaking the bank here. And the way that I'm looking at these ratings is if something is gold to me, it is the top of its class and it does a little bit of something different. Platinum is kind of like maybe even platform defining, but and then obviously Diamond is like completely changing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So in that respect, I feel like it's silver just because it's not really pushing the envelope. It's a visual masterpiece, and it did as much as I gloat about it for what it actually did for the PlayStation 4. It's at the end of the day, it's just Defender. It's literally,
I agree that it is
just
that.
Defender.
But the reason I gave it a platinum, just go back to it, is it's literally like one of my favorite gameplay games of the generation. Like it's not, it doesn't have the impact on me that like The Last of Us Part 2 had, because I'm more of a story guy. But if we're talking about like straight gameplay, I had more fun and more time put into Resogun from a gameplay perspective than most in this generation. So yeah, that's why for me it almost is like a genre and platform and generation defining game for me. So that's why for me it was a platinum. But I get where you're coming from. I do get it. So there you have it.
And that's the great thing about having individual scores, because everyone has an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. We're not going to come to a
and
consensus.
Everybody's got different standards on how they want to rate these things. So
that's perfect.
And to Bulldog Brad in the chat, I do dream Resogun. At least at that time, I'll admit. You ever have that? Like I think especially like Tetris, people will dream Tetris and stuff like that. I would dream Resogun.
I dream Tetris Effect, but I do not dream Resogun, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I agree. That's an unfortunate thing.
Yeah, upgrade.
Wow.
Get good.
Damn.
All right, I'll wrap this up. Everybody, get on our Discord. I'll say it again. I'll do it every time. I'll be the bad guy. Get on our Discord at discord.gg/thelevelupnetwork. Go to the hashtag HowYouReviewing channel, because these games are submitted by people on our Discord. I think this one came from Rick, I want to say. GFN2112 submitted Resogun. So you can be like Rick. You can be that awesome. Go on our Discord, submit a game for us to check out. We will do anything down to like the PS1 generation, but it might be less likely for us to do it if we go that low, because we want to make sure that at least 3 of us have played it. And I know Vince specifically doesn't quite go back that far. I'd say you're more likely to get your game chosen if you go PS2 generation and later, and especially PS3 generation and later, just to give you guys a little heads up. And with that, let's take a quick break here. When we come back, we are going to be starting the $50 PSN card giveaway. I'm sure some of you in the chat are like, what's going on? Title of the stream, $50 PSN card giveaway. What's going on? So we will be activating that. We just want to make sure some people came in. And of course, we'll be getting into the level update, which is a big one this month. We're going to change it up with something special for the first half of the level update. So hold on tight, Duroc. We'll be back in like a couple minutes. I don't know, something like that. Welcome back to Season 1, Episode 1 of Next Level Gamescast, the Level Up Network's monthly gaming talk show live on Twitch at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show on the third Sunday of every month. Make sure you never miss an episode. Hit that heart button here and turn on notifications. Get those alerts whenever we go live with either variety gaming or talk shows. Type !Vince or !Tom in the chat to get links to their respective channels, please. And to those watching or listening to an archive, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And of course, become a part of this community even when we are not live on Discord at discord.gg/The Level Up Network. During commercial break, we just did our wheel spins. Thank you so much to everybody who supports the show. If you do anything worth $5 or more, meaning subbing, cheering, tipping, resubbing, Prime subs, all that good stuff, you will get a wheel spin during the commercial break. And we've already activated after show of 30 minutes thanks to that massive 3333 stagger tip from Durak. If anybody wants to extend that to 1 hour, we just need another $26.67 to get to a full hour of after show. Right now, we are going to activate our giveaway for the night. Really excited that we get to do this. Last season on Next Level Gamescast, you guys pulled together your seasonal points and activated the community activity of a $50 PSN card. Specifically, White Topaz needs a shout out because she spent like, I want to say close to 60,000 of her seasonal points to make sure that this happened for all of you guys. So this will be for anybody who is a follower or a subscriber. But if you are a subscriber, you do get a couple of extra tickets to improve your chances at winning. So keep that in mind. If you want to make sure that you have a better shot, sub before you enter the raffle for the $50 PSN card giveaway. This will be active for the next hour and a half, pretty much until the end of the stream. And there you go. It is available in the chat. Just type in !raffle to get in on that. Everybody.
Right now, everybody. Win
Right
things
now.
by
Right now.
watching.
What was that?
You get to win things by watching.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a beautiful thing. It is. Right now, we are going to move on to the level update. Only this month, we're doing something a little bit special with the level update in the first half. Let's give that music a moment to shine.
Oh my god, they're doing it.
That's the worst. I'm gonna start muting your guys' mics during the
You
segment.
should.
I should. I'm going to. I'm gonna make it like a hotkey automatic to it. You guys are the worst. Guys, for the first half of the level update, we are doing this year's Level Uppies, meaning Level Uppies 7. To anybody who doesn't know, this is pretty much our version of the Game Awards. Like, this is just our time to take some categories, talk about, what we really liked throughout the year. We're doing it a little bit different this time because we want to tighten it up, and get it down to like 30, 35 minutes. So we're going to do 10 categories. We actually came up with our nominees off stream, and we came up with our winner off stream. We debated this already off stream so that we can deliver to you the winners. However, to all of you guys in the chat, you will have the opportunity to vote on the 10 categories over the course of the 3 minutes allotted, and we'd love to see what you say. So please, unlike the previous poll that we had of just 2 people, everybody, please get in on all of these polls that'll be happening in the chat so we can get your opinions, your viewer choice awards during the Level Uppies.
Get on Andrew's polls, guys.
Get
Do
on
it.
my level. I think Kristen has a t-shirt that's Get on My Level, and it's a giraffe, which is even more appropriate for her, actually.
That's awesome.
It is
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Moving on, we're going to each take categories here, kind of like it's an award show. And first off, we're going to go to Tom with the first category of the night. What do we got, Tom?
This one we have best music, music power, and this is obviously one of my favorite categories personally. But we're gonna run through some of the nominees real quick. We have our good friends. You know what, Drew? I actually have a quick question for you.
Who makes Destiny?
Am I reading the blue or the purple?
Blue.
You are reading the blue. We
I'm
have
reading the
5
blue.
nominees each for
Good,
each of these
good.
categories.
Okay,
You are the
I
blue.
just wanted to double check.
Yes, no, you're good.
I've been
Don't want
reading.
to screw it up.
Okay, so best music, everybody. First nominee is
Well, those
Destiny
are big
2
fans.
Beyond Light. Destiny 2 Beyond Light. Nominee number 2, Doom Eternal. Mick Gordon just doing his thing. Third nominee is Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yes. Sorry.
Fourth nominee is Ghost
Boring.
of Tsushima. And the 5th nominee, The Last of Us Part 2.
All right. We had a good debate about this, but Tom, this is your opportunity to open up the envelope. Then we're going to do this. You get to reveal the Level Up Network's winner for Best Music 2020. Who is it, Tom?
Hold on a second. Let's.
Oh God, he's doing it, guys.
He's doing it. He's actually doing it.
Dude,
I wasn't expecting this.
You bet your bottom dollar that I got props. Let's see here. And the winner is Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yes!
Boo.
Oh, White Topaz him with a $30 tip. There we go. Full hour after show. But this wasn't much of a debate, honestly, between us. When we talked about this, each one obviously is strong. That's why they're nominated. I think Last of Us Part 2 especially has some really great tracks. But there's only one game that came out this year that has literally hundreds of tracks in it with, I would say, at least half of them being bangers. Like, they're absolute bangers. I listen to this soundtrack pretty much every single day at this point. It's one of my favorite RPG OSTs of all time.
A Final Fantasy VII soundtrack being something you listen to.
You know what, Mike? I'm going to tell you something. This might be interesting to you. 7 was never my favorite when it came to music. I always liked 8 more. I always liked
the greatest
10
love story
more.
ever told.
But 7 never really did it for me because I think 7 came before they went to a more orchestrated sound. 7 sounded a little bit more MIDI sounding, but to take all those great tunes and turn them into full orchestrated, and not even just that, some freaking epic rock anthems like Airbuster, right, Tom? Like, this game is insane with the variety.
Airbuster is so freaking good. And the one I actually brought up personally was shoot, I can't remember the name of the track now, but it's the one that plays when Tifa and Aerith are coming out of
Smash 'em, rip 'em.
Smash 'em, rip 'em. That track, when it plays, like, I just absolutely get so freaking hyped for that track. I will run through a brick wall for Airbuster, but I will get pretty darn close with Smash 'em.
It's a total girl power song, and it works so well in that moment. Yeah. 100%. What about you, Vince? What's your favorite tune?
By the way, I understand because Danny has mentioned something, and I know a couple of other people feel the same way. Look, Doom Eternal's soundtrack was good. It is not as good as Doom 2016's soundtrack. 16's soundtrack is miles better.
Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like Ori. You know, Ori was the same way for a lot of us. Although we gave you the opportunity to vote on Ori in the chat. But real quick before we move on, Vince, what was your favorite track from 7 Remake?
The One Winged Angel version.
Oh,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that variation. I'm sorry. It's my favorite version of it.
It's damn good.
Oh my God, is it fantastic?
And it's 10 minutes long too. That's
why I love it. It's so awesome.
Just keeps escalating further and
does.
further and further. 7 votes for Final Fantasy VII Remake in the chat. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Moving on, we're going to go to our second category of the night, and it is Best Story or Narrative. And the nominees are Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Spiritfarer, and final nominee, The Last of Us Part 2. So this one got, I think, a little bit more debate within our Discord, but this one, I think, came pretty quickly as well, overall, I want to say.
Yeah.
The winner for Best Story, the Level Up Network 2020 is The Last of Us Part 2. So all of these, I feel like we got to take a moment to talk about each of these because they all do something special, right? I think with 7 Remake, we wanted to give it a major shout out because it took an iconic game, beloved by millions, and took the major risk of sort of attacking the original fan base and the original story and delivering, spoiler alert, what is actually more of a sequel than a remake. Now, some people would say, oh, that's like, it's bullshit. That's why you shouldn't be here. But I think all of us, at least within this community, the Level Up Network, we actually really respect that they were willing to take that leap and that risk. So that's why 7 Remake got a shout out. Ghost of Tsushima is a huge step up for Sucker Punch. They have raised their presentational quality to another level.
It's the best story they've told.
Yeah.
Thus far.
I think the only reason it suffers a little bit is it also is a revenge story. And there's another strong revenge story here, which we're about to talk about in a moment. Hades is fantastic because it takes a roguelite and adds a dynamic story system to it. which is really, really great. Every time you play through a run, you're getting more information about the characters, getting more character development. Spiritfarer tells a ton of stories all within one game because every single person that you are ferrying along the lake or the ocean, whatever you want to call it, to the afterlife has this great emotional or depressing storyline to go with it. Although I'd say overall that game is pretty optimistic. The Last of Us Part 2 wins because that is a revenge story that cuts you to the bone, man. That game wounds you deeply and sticks with you for a very, very long time. Right, Vince?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
are you still feeling it?
Yeah, every day. I still think about it.
What about you, Tom? I know you're like less optimistic on part 2 for a lot of different reasons, but what about the story? Does the story sort of hit you hard in that way?
I mean, it obviously has its moments for me. But overall, I was very frustrated by the story in a lot of ways. I was just look, honestly, if I'm going to be completely honest, the game is just completely leaning into the idea that everybody is terrible all the time, 100% of the time, and there's very few redeeming qualities in any human being that's ever lived. Like that's
I don't agree with that at all, but
to me there's zero redemption I feel for anybody in any of this. Like no one comes out looking anywhere near good in this game, and it's very bleak, and I think it's very
no one that lives at least.
it's very depressing. It's extremely depressing, and it's at least if there's like some ray of hope or there's like some understanding that something's going to work out better for somebody, like at least there, even if it's not Ellie, even if it was somebody else, but like it's just like this game just makes you feel bad from the beginning to the very end.
I love it for it.
Yep.
That's my thing. I love it. I love depressing games. But Last of Us Part 2 does win Best Story 2020 for the Level Up Network. We're now going to move on to Vince for his category.
Yeah, and the category that I will be giving out today will be Best Performances. And our first nominee is Bugsnax.
What a nominee.
Nominee, right? Second nominee would be going to Ghost of Tsushima.
Nice.
Third nominee would be going to Hades. Our fourth nominee would be Spider-Man, Miles Morales. And our fifth nominee would be The Last of Us Part 2. And this was pretty quick for us, I think. We all pretty much gave this to The Last of Us Part 2. The performances of this game are through the roof.
It's not just that there's a difference, right, between a performance being outstanding for something like The Last of Us Part 2 and a performance being outstanding for Hades, which it is, right?
Right.
But there's a difference there that we went into, especially off stream.
Yeah, there was a difference. The way we kind of broke it up down too is because Last of Us Part 2 has not only the mocap, but the facial capture, the voice acting that goes along with it. There's that entire combination of the performance that gets met with it, right? Whereas Hades and Bugsnax have great performance. They have great voice performance. Bugsnax doesn't really have that way to emote very well. You know, there's that cute cuddly aspect of it, but there's not that much of an emote. There's some fantastic voice line and voice delivery, though. Same thing with Hades. That's kind of how we broke that down.
Right. Like when you're talking about Troy Baker or Ashley Johnson or Laura Bailey with The Last of Us Part 2, you're talking about like these are actors giving it their all from every perspective. We're talking about physicality, like action physicality, like animations. We're talking about facial motion capture. Like during that scene at the end between, spoiler alert, between the two leads, I should say, like that flashback scene at the very end, like those emotions that are coming through are emotions that we are witnessing from the actor and actress themselves.
Right.
Like they are carrying through to the game. So there's just so much involved, and that's why I think you're seeing now that this is all being taken much more seriously, right? But within the voice actor, whatever the association is called, right? Like there's a lot more involved with the performance now, and a lot more at stake for them, and probably a lot more grueling on them than it used to be when it was just something like Hades, which, God, it really, the characters come through so strong in that game because of the voice acting, but they're sitting in a booth, you know? They're not like running around and beating the hell out of each other like we just saw on screen, Laura Bailey and Ashley Johnson. I can't even imagine what that scene looked like. They're
somebody who actually has done voice acting. It is still very much a very physical performance in order to get the proper inflection. So this is not a this is not a referendum on voice actors versus people who act
Agreed.
either in mocap or anything else like that. But what Drew has been saying, what everybody else has been saying, the fact that we can visually see on the characters in The Last of Us and even Miles Morales, where you were able to see the little subtle facial cues that you're getting from everybody else, like those kind of things help with the performance even more and just elevates it to that next level.
Right. Yeah, without a doubt.
Exactly.
Moving on, Tom, you're up with the next category.
That's right, I very much am. Our next category is Best Game Direction. Our nominees are Naughty Dog for The Last of Us Part 2, Nintendo for Animal Crossing New Horizons, Square Enix for Final Fantasy VII Remake, Sucker Punch Productions with Ghost of Tsushima, and Supergiant Games with Hades. And the winner is... Hold on, I got another one here.
Get another one? What are you doing?
Another one?
Where are you getting these from?
He just saved them all for this.
Spoiler alert, it's just my mail. And the winner is Supergiant Games with Hades.
Woo! I'm gonna let you really explain the reasoning.
Bill is a little overdue, so you might want to get on that.
Yeah, actually, it was Ford Pass Rewards trying to sell me a Visa.
Nice.
Tom, explain yourself. Why is Supergiant Games or Hades winning Best Game Direction?
Supergiant Games is winning with Hades because Supergiant Games, I don't know how much all you guys know about Supergiant. I mean, we're seeing some B-roll footage here down below Drew on your screen. This is a very small team, relatively speaking, and they are an independent,
right?
Yes, it's about a 25-person team, and these guys have managed. These men and women have done a very fantastic job of putting together what is essentially what I would consider at least a AAA story, a AAA gaming experience. Like everything is tight in Hades. And granted, it went through a very long process through being a green light game, but it has been but it's worked together. They worked very well with the community, with all the feedback that they were getting, and they just made probably one of the tightest and best experiences in gaming that we could ever have hoped for in 2020. And I know there's people out there like Denny, who I know has played it, who would absolutely agree. Like, this is probably one of the best games that came out this year, and you will likely be seeing it again in our nominees.
Yeah, without a doubt. And there's a reason that some of these other ones might fall down a little bit. Supergiant Games was real special in that Hades, if you look at the behind the scenes, especially the no clip documentary for Hades, you can see the way they treat their employees there at Supergiant Games, the way they are so harshly against crunch culture and as far as giving their employees sick leave or personal leave when they are overwhelmed or feeling like it's become too much for them. That there's been stories that have come out about how special Supergiant Games is in that regard, and for all that to come together in one of the highest reviewed games of the year shows that they've got a great, small, tight team over there, and hopefully a strong future ahead of them. I think they do have a very strong future ahead of them. Hopefully staying independent, I must say. Moving on, Mike, you were up with the next category.
I am. Ladies and gentlemen, for the category of Best Multiplayer, we have Animal Crossing New Horizon, Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys, Ghost of Tsushima, and Valorant.
A good category for you, Mike.
It is. And we have the results here.
I've only played one of these, really. Well, two of them.
All right. It looks like Call of Duty Warzone has won.
Call of Duty Warzone winning Best Multiplayer 2020. Mike, tell me why.
You know what's crazy is it's one of those things where I actually forget that Warzone came out this year because it was right at the beginning of the pandemic. But man, what a whirlwind of a game that was to come out and to be free for everybody to play, both if you had Call of Duty Modern Warfare or not. And it really flipped Battle Royale on its head almost a little bit, and has actually been one of the number one Battle Royale type games out there. The combat is just very well put together, and it feels rewarding. The way they implement new modes that make it both similar to what you want to expect, but also unique and different in its own way. It really took that battle royale-ness as well as what made Modern Warfare great and meshed them together in a perfect way. Adding something like the Gulag was just a really great way to make you not have to quit because the person streaming the game decided that because he died, nobody else gets to have it.
That actually is a really cool.
No,
from what I played, I did enjoy the concept of the Gulag.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of really cool things. I mean, what sucks is a little bit of a tough thing because I don't want anybody else to not get the shout outs they deserve. As you said, Animal Crossing New Horizons, one of your favorite multiplayer games. One of the things that held that back is because the Switch itself is so awful with the way that they allow, Nintendo allows, companies to have their online services work, and it's such a nightmare to get together with people. When you get there, it's fun, but getting there is a problem.
I agree, that is a problem.
Yeah.
Fall Guys is fun. It's a good arcade game. It's great. It's great what they've done. But nothing compared, in my opinion, what Warzone did. Same with Ghost of Tsushima. That should really not be underplayed. That came out of nowhere, and I think that was the. In all honesty, I actually kind of went back and forth in my head about if I should give it to Warzone or Ghost of Tsushima myself, because you never expected this, and not only did you not expect it,
it was good.
Great. It's not even just good; it's great. It's really cool. They've made it Destiny, and it should not have happened in the way that it did, and we are all the better for it. And then you have Valorant. So, Call of Duty.
So, got nothing to say about that one, I guess.
But yeah, no, I think this is a really tough category, but I think Call of Duty Warzone definitely deserved it.
Let's go back to some of these viewer choice awards. You guys have been agreeing with us for the most part, with Last of Us Part 2 winning performances, Last of Us Part 2 winning story. You guys gave Best Game Direction to 3 in a tie. It was Supergiant Games, Sucker Punch Productions, and Square Enix. All got 2 votes from you guys in the chat, which I think is really cool. But this newest category, Best Multiplayer, went to Ghost of Tsushima for the viewer choice award, which I think is really cool. I'm glad people are playing that. I'm glad, as you said, don't sleep on Ghost of Tsushima. What is the name of it? Legends?
Yep, Legends.
Yep.
Yeah. So very cool that that came out of nowhere and turned out to be pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Moving on to our next category in Level Uppies 7. We have Video Game Trailer of the Year. And the first nominee is Destiny 2 Beyond Light Launch Trailer. We have Final Fantasy VII Remake Final Trailer. Ghost of Tsushima, the Kurosawa trailer, only available in Japan. We have It Takes Two reveal trailer that happened not too long ago during the Game Awards. And finally, we have The Last of Us Part 2's story trailer. And the winner of Video Game Trailer of the Year 2020 is The Last of Us Part 2 story trailer. This was a tough category overall. We actually took a break in between our weekly meetings, and we need to watch all these again because these are all great trailers, and we could have nominated so many more on top of this too. Just go quickly through it. Destiny 2 Beyond Light launch trailer, really great, epic trailer,
so
great
badass.
Music, badass as hell. Definitely deserves that shout out. 7 Remake, it's a 4-minute epic of a trailer. The problem is it spoils everything great about the game, but if you're watching it later on, who gives a crap anyway? If you just watch it now, you're like, damn, that is an awesome trailer, probably because they showed so much. Ghost of Tsushima Kurosawa trailer, I mean, come on, the way it mimics that style, the black and white, the huge font on the screen, it was amazing. It's so epic, man. It's a real shame that they didn't make that available on the US PlayStation Store. For some reason, it's only on the Japanese PlayStation Store.
Really?
Yeah, it's really bizarre.
I didn't know that.
It Takes Two reveal trailer is how you do a reveal trailer. If you're talking about reveal trailers, this is how you do it. You understand what the game is about. You understand the comedy, the humor, the atmosphere of the game, and it has a lot of gameplay. Like, we saw a ton of gameplay in that trailer. That is how you do it, man. That is such a great reveal. One of my favorites, if not my favorite, from the Game Awards, actually. I felt hooked on that, and I'm looking forward to that in a big way.
If there is a checkbox list for how you do a trailer, they hit everything in big, bold ink.
Permanent marker.
Certainly put that viewer.
Yes, I would say so.
Viewer choice in the chat now. Sorry about that, guys. And finally, we got the Last of Us Part 2 story trailer, which won. And I was not going to give it to this, actually, myself, personally. No, I wasn't. But when I watched it back, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember this trailer now. The sense of dread that this trailer provides is, man, it's palatable. It's like, it goes down so nice, but it damn does stick with you. It's that tone, that background tone throughout the last half of the trailer that really gets you. Right, Vince?
Oh my God, it's amazing. I love it. Just the way they edit the song, the way they do the flashes with it. Oh, so good.
And it doesn't give away too much, right? Because that's what's so great about The Last of Us Part 2, and one of the reasons some people are upset about The Last of Us Part 2 is it subverted their expectations, right? But this is a 3-minute trailer that shows a fair bit of stuff and gets you hyped up and really feeling like, oh man, like what's going to happen in this game? But it doesn't at all hint you in the direction of what's going to happen. Based on that trailer, I would not have guessed a lot of what goes down in that game. Nope. What about you, Tom? I like going to you on Last of Us Part 2 because you're sort of different than Vince and I as far as your final opinion on it. But you did agree that this was the winner.
No, I mean, it was the trailer. It evoked a lot of emotion. It did a look. It was what you needed to do to sell people on trying to play a second Last of Us. Because remember, I went into Last of Us 2 thinking that there shouldn't have been a Last of Us 2.
You and me
and that trailer helped to sell me on, all right, well, this is 100% worth playing. I was going to play it regardless, but the trailer sold me on like, all right, I got to see what's up with this. Like I need.
Now you wish you stuck to your guns.
Now I wish I kind of stuck to my guns a little bit. Wow. I wish I probably got it when it was on sale.
That hurts me a little bit.
It really does hurt me too.
A little bit.
I mean, I think it's better. I think it's a better game than the first game.
Personally, I had a really tough time choosing that over It Takes Two because I really liked it.
Right. Same. We all had that discussion. It was really tough between those two.
Yeah, without a doubt. Those were the two for us, which I think might surprise some people. But yeah, it was just something. You don't get a lot of games that are humorous, really, in that way, right? Like, how often do you get great comedy games?
Right, and it's revealed, and it's also revealed with gameplay.
Yeah.
And gameplay galore to back it up too.
Oh yeah, they weren't shying away from showing you what that game is.
It wasn't like
it's a romantic comedy.
They went straight for it. I mean, it was great.
Very cool. Very, very cool. This next category is perfect for our man Mike here. Take it away, Mike.
All right. Coming up, we have the biggest gaming disappointment of 2020. Nominees are Cyberpunk 2077, Halo Infinite reveal and delay, Last of Us Part 2.
There's no need to be upset.
Leaks and toxicity. Ubisoft's sexual harassment allegations. And next-gen launches, including all the fudgery that went on with everybody's lost consoles, stolen consoles, and just not being able to get one in the first place.
Or your
the fact that I can't get a 3080 right now, even though you guys did an amazing job raising the money for me to do it.
It's insane, dude.
Yeah.
But the winner is Cyberpunk 2077.
As he opens up the case for the game.
Not mine. Want to put that out there.
Whose is that? Is that like a used what is that, rented?
No, I have it from Dan.
He forgot a pre-order, I think.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So just scratch you out.
Anyway.
Tell us, Mike, why is Cyberpunk 2077 the biggest disappointment of 2020?
Well,
don't go too much into this because I want to talk about the other ones too. But...
Let me pull up the Discord channel and just go into gaming to see everything that's been talked about for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't really need to talk about it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you guys have been active in the Discord or if you've been active in gaming conversations with anybody in general, you kind of know, and you know my thoughts very well if you're in the Discord on it, as well as Vince's even. Just, man, what a cluster fudgery of a fiasco this whole thing was. And it just, and honestly, even up till yesterday, it keeps getting worse. And you don't even at this point, I didn't even expect it to get worse, and it did. So
reset the clock.
God, yeah. It's like that one of those running jokes of like no accidents in the warehouse for 1 day, and then just keeps reset. Oh my God.
Let's talk about the other ones though. Halo Infinite reveal and delay. I mean, it's a meme at this point. I mean, it's just
like,
and it is a great meme. It is a meme that gives you everything that you could ever want.
there's
The
no need to be
graphics
upset.
look absolutely atrocious for what it was supposed to be, what was shown. The game itself is featured on the back of the next gen console, yet it's not coming out till next year. And then we find out that oh my god, they just have changed everything. Jeez, man,
But credit where credit is due. At least they did delay it and give it the time it needs. And hopefully, if they need to delay it again, they'll delay it again.
Right.
The Last of Us Part 2 leaks and toxicity. It's just depressing to look back on the moments of launch for that game, especially considering where it stands now with awards, which we'll talk about later on. But I think that game would have fared so much better as far as the viewer perspective on it if it wasn't for those leaks.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Without a doubt. That just hurt the lead up so much, and a lot of people just kind of wanted to ride that bandwagon of hating on the game without even having played it. You could kind of tell too if you watch some of the early reactions to the opening hours of the game. You can tell who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah,
they already know. They're acting like they don't know, but they know. You can tell. They're bad actors.
Right.
That's the kind of shit that you saw because of the
They're
leaks
streamers on Twitch.
Yeah. Right. You're 100% right. They are streamers on Twitch. People took advantage of that situation without a doubt. And we don't even need to go into the toxicity as well as far as the characters in that game and what some people mistakenly thought was going to happen with certain characters. It's disgusting. It's honestly disgusting. Speaking of disgusting, Ubisoft sexual harassment allegations, absolutely disgusting. And it just keeps on going on, similar to
it's getting worse.
Cyberpunk. It just keeps going on and on and on. It's that was actually a real strong contender to even go higher than Cyberpunk 2077. And then I think kind of bottom of the barrel because the next gen consoles are great. Let's be honest, they're great, but the problem is getting one. Right? That's kind of what we're talking about there. And Mike is definitely familiar with that problem.
God,
how long did it take you to get one, Mike?
Month.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah, it was almost exactly a month. I think it was like a day over a month. I was supposed to get it at launch, and I didn't get it until December 13th.
Yep.
So
there you have it. But Cyberpunk 2077 wins, and on the viewer choice as well, Cyberpunk 2077 has won. Vince, you are up with the next category.
Yeah, and our next category is Best Artistic Direction. And our nominees are Doom Eternal, that's our first one. Our second nominee is Ghost of Tsushima. Our third nominee is Hades. Our fourth nominee is Ori and the Will of the Wisps. And then our final nominee is Spiritfarer.
Mm-hmm.
And the winner is Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
I mean, this was a big. I think we talked a lot about this category, and just to kind of make sure everyone kind of understands here, artistic direction is going for how the game's art assets look, how everything kind of comes together. And the thing is, every single one of these games is incredibly strong. Like, no matter what, like you can sit there and love everything about every nominee in this category. The reason why I think that we kind of went where Ghost of Tsushima is because it was able to blend realism and that fantastical element in a really well done package. It kind of does the best of both worlds. You guys kind of agree with me on that, and that's how it's a good summary of what we did.
It's a tough category to define. I feel like every single year we have this issue where do you draw the line on what's technical and what's artistic? Like we were talking about animation, for example. Like when is our animation more artistic than technical? Like for Last of Us Part 2, it's more technical because of the motion capture and the motion blending and all that kind of stuff. But then on Hades, the animation is 100% artistic, right? Like it's literally like almost like a hand-drawn looking game, although it isn't. It's actually 3D models. So there's a little bit of technicality there as well. So it's very tough. But yeah, I think we all agreed Ghost of Tsushima, it's grounded, right? It's a grounded real world game, but when you look at it, it's surreal. It's because of the strong contrast and the colors and sometimes I'll be honest with you, sometimes I almost felt like it was too much like surrealism, where it's like this feels, as you said, fantastical. This doesn't feel like it's grounded in a real world, but it's beautiful. Man, is it beautiful without a doubt. Those cherry blossoms and all the colors, all the petals blowing through the air. Oh my God, it's just a beautiful game. The world is my favorite character of that game.
Yeah, the world of Tsushima is the character. And it's such a fantastic thing, from the wind, the petals, how everything looks, all the architecture.
I think I have more screenshots from that game than any other movies in history, I think.
Yeah, I have my PS4 had around a 7.5 gigabytes worth of photos from this game.
Sounds about right.
So most I've ever used of a photo mode in a game.
I think when people think of artistic direction, they think of games like Hades, Ori, and Spiritfarer because they think of games that look like art, like literal hand-drawn art. And
which, let's give them credit
it.
too, because you know, Spiritfarer looks like a Studio Ghibli thing, right?
It does, yeah.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps, man, I loved Ori and the Blind Forest, and then they just went above and beyond with Will and the Wisps and made it look even better than that, and everything moves so fluidly, and it was perfect. Hades has such a unique and cool, gritty, but poppy and dark and deep art style that's just very unique and very awesome and its own thing, and it really makes it stand out. And Doom has so much blood that it's awesome. It's just crazy. But realistically, they all have that, like, you know, really, like you were saying, Drew, you know, with how it's their own art pieces. But Ghost did that also with their Kurosawa mode as well.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. There's definitely a lot of different variables involved there. But moving on, that's not the only graphics category we have tonight. Vince,
we also have technical, everyone.
Yes, of course.
So this is for the best graphics in a technical mindset. And so our nominees go to Demon Souls as our first one, Final Fantasy VII Remake as number 2. Our third nominee goes to Ghost of Tsushima. Our fourth nominee is Spider-Man Miles Morales. And then our fifth and final nominee is The Last of Us Part 2. And the winner for this nomination is The Last of Us Part 2, a game with so much tech that it is. I had the research. Remember, I had the research, guys. I went back and I was like, wait, I don't want to give my vote yet. I want to go back and look and kind of read through things and everything like that. And some of the stuff that I found out that I didn't even know, I was like, this is astounding to me. I mean,
I think your gut reaction in this category is to go with something like Demon Souls or to a lesser extent Miles Morales, because they are PS5 games. Like specifically Demon Souls is a dedicated PS5 game, so it has this enormous leg up, right? But my gut feeling from the start was Last of Us Part 2, and you had to go back and sort of do that research to also figure out why. Well, but I'm glad you went with it as well.
Like, I mean, let's talk about here a little bit. So like Demon Souls, the real thing that powers Demon Souls for the PS5 is not only the texture resolution, things like that really give it that look of, right? The big thing that pushes Demon Souls presentation is the fact that it can do real-time lighting all the way through. It's a huge feat. Most games use a variation of, you know, some real-time, some static, and some baked lighting to kind of give like their whole thing. And baked lighting can be really challenging to get right. Whereas real-time lighting, you're kind of just playing around with physical values and you're getting that to where it looks good. It's just it's computationally and like hard, right? And going to Spider-Man Miles Morales, we have a launch game that is pulling off impressive ray tracing features, and just got recently patched to have a ray tracing performance mode at 60 frames per second, which I think is a huge thing.
It's the best mode now, in my opinion.
Right, because this is a great thing for the PS5 and even by the Series X for the generation. Like, we're going to see some really great stuff come out of these games. Final Fantasy VII Remake went from a proprietary engine to a third-party engine, and to pretty much great results too. I mean, they actually have some really great animation.
I remember when they first announced that it was going Unreal, I was disappointed, but man, did they do some really crazy things with Unreal Engine.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to bring in their asset stuff. They completely rechanged all the menu stuff for them to make that game fit to what it needed to be. I mean, there's some really great stuff there that they did, other than some texture streaming issues that the game was plagued with at launch. Ghost of Tsushima, again, an entire GPU particle-based system for the wind, for the particles, everything like that. I mean, claw physics are incredibly hard to pull off correctly. But The Last of Us Part 2 not only has static baked lighting and also some real-time lighting on top of, the character models are all have various bases of weight. They all have fat models. They all have this. They all have muscle skeletal systems. They have the entire motion matching engine system that's doing all this pooling and blending all these emotions into it. Then they also have the AI is able to tag in expressions from being attacked, from being hit, and everything like that. There is so much that game is doing in the moment that you're playing it. It is astounding. It's unbelievable. That game runs almost the same on a PS4 and a PS4 Pro.
Which is insane. I don't understand how they pulled that off. Really,
right?
I don't understand that at all.
That's some black magic stuff right there.
Yeah, that's going to be a game that looks pretty much on par with next gen for a little while, I think, and especially once we see their next gen version. I'm sure they'll have like a next gen patch or a next gen release, if you want to call it that. That game's going to hold up real well, I think, for maybe even a couple of years. It's just unbelievable what Naughty Dog was able to pull off with that one there. So yes, Last of Us Part 2 wins Best Graphics Technical. You guys agreed with the viewer choice, and as far as artistic, you agreed as well. The Ghost of Tsushima is the best artistic direction. I think it's pretty cool to see that VII Remake got a couple votes there. Demon Souls got a couple votes there for technical. So pretty cool to see that there's favor for all of them. But we are now moving on to the big one, you guys.
It's a big one.
The real big one. We have Video Game of the Year 2020 for the Level Up Network. And the nominees are Animal Crossing New Horizons, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and our final nominee is The Last of Us Part 2. And the winner for Game of the Year 2020 is The Last of Us Part 2. You guys in the chat get the opportunity to vote on 10 different games. We want to give you a little bit more variety there, but we decided on The Last of Us Part 2. It was a little contentious. We went back and forth on this. Tom, I think, obviously wouldn't choose Part 2 as his game of the year. I think actually Tom would have probably gone with 7 Remake. Isn't that right, Tom?
Yeah, my thought was 7 Remake. I thought that 7 Remake it is the blueprint for how you treat a remake, I feel. At least in the way that it elevated what that original game was, and then going beyond that, and for the lore nerds, like I know you are, Drew, and I am as well, who like what it did to that. Remake is going to sit with me for quite a while, and as we were talking about, it's doing that thing that I didn't think I was ever going to have again after Metal Gear stopped being a thing, where now I'm getting to a point where I'm starting to do fan theories and conspiracies and what's going to happen next. Final Fantasy VII is the game that is going to likely stick with me the most out of any of these on the list for years to come.
Yeah, I think it's going to stick with me as well, especially considering we probably have like another 10 years of it.
Right. But I would say aside from the fact that there's going to be more to it, this and the impact that it had on revitalizing this title and this continuity of Final Fantasy, that I think to me means just shows how important this game was.
I don't disagree with any of that, and I think the same applies. I think for Vince and I, especially for The Last of Us Part 2, as far as something that's going to stick with it. I'm just like you, Vince, in that I don't know if I would say every day. I think it was every day for like a month with The Last of Us Part 2, as far as like thinking about it and wanting to watch reactions of people to the ending. But I say still, at least once a week, I'm kind of reliving certain moments of that game, especially the ending, and especially. I honestly tear up pretty much any time I think about it, like in my car drives, if I'm like doing commutes and stuff, and for some reason that moment pops in my head and I start reliving it, like I start tearing up. Like it's really had a crazy impact on me. I don't know if I've ever had this kind of reaction to a video game ever, as far as it's sticking with me for this long in this kind of way. And that's the kind of thing, honestly, that I look for in any medium. Whether it be movies or television or video games. That's I think why I like somewhat depressing things a lot of the time, because I love when a game can get that out of me and make me feel that, especially if it sticks with me for a long time. So that's why Last was Part 2. It had to be the one for me, and I know you agreed on that. Unfortunately, Mike, I know you didn't have much of a horse in this race this year.
Yeah, it was a little tough because I didn't get to finish Last of Us Part 2. And while I finished Final Fantasy VII, I definitely don't think that it's my game of the year by any means. Believe it or not, it actually the other three titles probably would have been my competition, and I likely would have given it to Ghost of Tsushima, just because of how much I enjoyed that game. I mean, I put in at one point, I think it was like almost 15 or a little bit over 15 hours, and I still hadn't gotten to the end of the first island, because I was just doing everything in it, and it was beautiful. But
Yeah, I
is
get it.
what it is now.
Got Denny in the chat.
I can
Denny
definitely
voted
say
for
yes,
Ghost of
thank you.
Tsushima, and I think we got 3 votes actually for VII Remake, but the Viewer Choice Award for Game of the Year agreed with the Level Up Network, with The Last of Us Part 2 winning with 5 votes.
Woo woo.
So congratulations from both the
They're
Level
all
Up
great
Network and the
games.
viewers. Last of Us Part 2 wins, and yes, they were all fantastic games. Actually, all 10. It was a really easy 10 to fill out for you guys in the Viewer Choice, because all of those are fantastic as well.
They're
It was
fantastic games.
tough
If you haven't played
to narrow it down to
them,
5, yeah.
play them because they're all great.
Yeah, without a doubt. Oh, wait a sec. Tom, you know what that sound means.
That's right, Drew. It's time now for your halftime hedge. That's right, sports fans. This is the time for you, our community, here on the Level Up Network, and as well over on Discord. You can join in every month, and you can put up your SP as a wager in order to earn more toward your seasonal prizes. This month, I keep wanting to say this week. This month,
I know.
This month we have still an unresolved wager,
and will for a while.
When we will have it for a while, and this is just going to be. We didn't have any resolved wagers since the last time we did a show, but just to keep a reminder for everybody, we have an unresolved wager from King Kurt 757. God of War Ragnarok will not release in 20. Drew, I think it's supposed to say 2021.
No, he said. Oh wait, yes, you're right. I'm
yes,
sorry.
Yeah.
20, did he type that in on the Discord as 2020? I thought I copied it. Yes, you are right. Of course, 2020.
Yeah. So we still have the whole entire rest of the year to go through before we start worrying about whether or not that's.
Yeah. So we'll stop reminding you. We'll just keep it internal.
We're gonna stop reminding you, but just as a reminder for everybody, how this works is that King Kurt put up 5,000 SP for this wager. Now, obviously, this is likely not going to affect necessarily this season, but going forward, if he wins, he's going to get the massive jackpot, and everybody else is going to receive a much lesser version of the jackpot as well. So, placing a wager is not potentially only going to help you; it's going to help the rest of the community. So, you can also do that, but of course, comes the risk, which 2 people have taken a risk this month with our new wagers. First is They Call Me Denny. They Call Me Denny says, Hitman 3 will score between 90 and 91 on Metacritic, specifically Metacritic, and it has to hit either 90 or 91. And for this wager, he went all in. At time of placing his wager, he went all in, which is 5,859 SP.
And we did agree with that.
We did agree with that. So, guys,
yeah, I think originally you said 89 to 91, and we did narrow it down a little bit.
We did narrow it down a little bit. So, guys, I just wanted to talk really quick about this specific thing. Vince, you brought up a very good point, specifically where it comes to Hitman games and where they've historically reviewed.
Yeah, when I looked back and everything like that, they actually sit in like the upper 82s is where they usually sit at. With Silent Assassin, Hitman 2, Silent Assassin, with not a whole lot of reviews, but still reviews at the time, was the only one that went up to an 87. And there's been a lot of press. There's been a lot of press for Hitman 3, especially with the hype on the second level and where the narrative is going. There is a slight chance that this might be the all-in-one package that pushes them up to that higher level. But it's definitely a wall for them to do it. If IO gets it, man, oh my God.
Definitely worthy of the 5,859. This is a pretty ballsy prediction. There's not a lot showing this as a likely scenario, as Vince just said. So if you get this one, Denny, you deserve it.
It's a ballsy prediction, but I think we've all come to the agreement that it is extremely plausible.
I think it's plausible. Yeah, it could happen.
Which is why we want it. Which is why we're definitely going for it, and we 100% God willing. Holding up for you, Denny. I want it to happen.
I want it.
We all
Oh my
want
God.
games to be great, right? So if Hitman 3 turns out to be a 90 plus AAA title, yeah, first time
Then
in the
Project
franchise.
007 will be
Though
fantastic.
if it's plus any more than one, then Denny loses out on it.
That's true. That is true. I think if it's going to hit 90 though, it's going to barely hit 90. So that's the right that's the right range right there, 90 91. But anyway, we have another one too.
And we have another review centric wager. King Kurt 757 is saying that Returnal, House Marquis' new game, will score between 83 and 85. So 83, 84, or 85 on Metacritic. And for this, he put up 2,000 SP.
Yeah, so we need to debate this one a little bit. I want Returnal to score higher than that, but I don't think that this is... I think this is kind of the range that I might expect it to fall in as well, myself. I was thinking like in the mid 80s. So this isn't too far off of my prediction, I would say.
Yeah, I don't think it's too far off. I mean, it definitely seems a very interesting game. The thing is that this is the first time that I think House Marquis ever done anything close to this, it being a third-person shooter.
Not this ambitious, yeah.
This is extremely ambitious title, so it can go one or two ways. Either it could be extremely mediocre, or it could be, given their pedigree, it could be an absolutely outstanding game. And I'm very interested, too, because of the fact that they're showing off some types of a mystery story involvement as well. So story-wise, this game could always also help move this game further up in critical reviews, depending on how good or how terrible the story is.
Mm-hmm. Either way, though, even though maybe this is a little bit safer because that's a range that would be expected for this kind of game, he kept it a tight range. 83 to 85 is pretty tight.
And he also only did 2,000 SP.
Yeah, not
That's
like a,
considered as well.
Not
5,859.
Yeah, right. So what do we think? Do we think it's fair? Should we go with 2,000 SP?
It's fair, and the thing is like, for me, if somebody doesn't want to wager a whole lot of SP on this is as close as we're going to get to an Exacto that some people are going to try to go for.
Right.
That we've had some Exactos in the past, and Danny had a very close one as well. I don't necessarily mind somebody like going kind of a middle of the road wager. I would obviously say that typically those I would say would be higher. If somebody had a broad spectrum, then then I would say like it's probably got to be 2,000 or less. But this is an Exacto. I think 2,000 is fair. And it's also up to him if he doesn't want to wager that much. So I think this is fair. If he wanted an Exacto, then I would tell him he needs to put up more. Because if he's exacting, then he has a big belief in that. But 2,000, I think, is still a worthy amount.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I'm okay with this.
I'm okay with it as well.
Mike, you okay with this?
I'm good.
Then we are locked in. Keep your ticket, King Kurt 757, and good luck to you. Good luck to everybody. And please remember, everybody, go to our Discord and go to Halftime Hedge if you would like to make a bet with the crew here at the Next Level Gamecast. Please go ahead and place a wager there. Bet as much SP as you have, if you would like, or any denomination within, and press your luck, everybody. And good luck, good wagering to everyone.
Moving on, we're going to get back into the level update, and we do have two topics to get through from Vince and Tom. Vince, we're going to start
I'm actually going to need to hop off.
That is totally understandable, man.
Understandable,
all right,
man.
Okay.
Everybody,
here,
say
Mike.
farewell and level up to Mike. Thanks for being here tonight, man.
See you guys.
See you, man.
See you, Mike.
Peace.
All right, so like moving on here now, guys, we have a Nintendo Switch revision codenamed Ola, I think, has been data mined.
Hola?
Ola?
I was like, wait. I don't know. It's Ron Burgundy type. Hola?
I'm Ron Burgundy. According to hacker/data miner Scryers M,
Back the planet.
Nintendo actually is working on a new model. This is in quotes, I'm sorry, with an upgraded display stuff, and has been for around 1.5 to 2 years. I personally believe it's a 4K given the signs I'm seeing in the firmware, but it's not confirmed yet and could be wrong. The new hardware is codenamed Aula. Is using the Macario SoC. There is a bunch of reference to it in code. Atmosphere supports new display already in theory. It explicitly supports handheld mode. It is not docked only. That is Calcio, which seems like it's for Eternal only, never released since Calcio has no game card slot or battery. There's a whole bunch of other stuff here. The tablet itself is an upgraded display. They don't know if it's 4K. Has firmware support for a Realtek chip that advertised itself as a 4K UHD multimedia SoC2. Hence, I believe it's 4K. The chip might be inside a new dock and not inside a tablet, though. There's no way to tell in the firmware code yet. And then checked with his previous discussion with hex keys. The upgraded tablet display is an OLED screen, probably not high resolution on the tablet itself. So essentially what has come out of this is that we are going to get a Switch Plus model, probably within some time this year. That is going to be an OLED screen, very probably either going to be a 1080p OLED screen, or it will be a pseudo 4K OLED screen, to where the actual 4K resolution will be in the dock. Is kind of where we're going with that.
So we're not going to get anything higher resolution as far as the tablet goes?
From what I understand and the way I've been pulling a lot of the stuff that's been coming out, no.
That's a little disappointing.
But you're going to get better color reproduction, and you're going to get a sharper
because it's an OLED.
Because it's an OLED, and they're also going to increase it up to an actual like 1080p full out display. Whereas the thing, if you do it's a 1080p display on the regular Switch right now, I think, if I remember my reading right. But the games do 720p or lower, so that's why you have like that fuzziness on the portable mode. So like Macario has substantially better cooling and battery life. It's a bona fide die shrink over the original generation. My best guess, pure speculation, no firmer indication in this case, is that they need the extra performance. They'll push a higher clock rates across the board. But essentially the big thing that's coming on here is like they're going to be having DSi enhanced games. Like you remember whenever the DS, like the new model, the DS, the Nintendo DS came out, and those games were a little bit better than the original model. It's the same thing. Same thing happened with the 3DS, with the new 3DS. I don't know.
It seems like a perfect timing. I've talked about it before. It was actually one of my predictions last month that Breath of the Wild sequel will be a launch title for whatever the next Switch is. It just makes a lot of sense. It works together. Breath of the Wild was a launch title for the Switch. It led to great success for the Switch. And now they get to do, as you just said, a Switch Pro enhanced version of that. It'll still obviously play on the Switch, but there'll be a Switch Pro enhanced version of it that'll be able to display in 4K. King Kurt in the chat asks, why does Nintendo need 4K? I think it's really going to come down to, that was one of my problems with Breath of the Wild. It's really a great artistic style, but it looked a little bit blurry because of the resolution. Now we get to at least have that sharp aliasing, anti-aliasing, I should say, and that clarity, that image quality will be there in a way it wasn't before. And I think something like Breath of the Wild and that graphical style, and something that Nintendo does very often, right? They don't go with something really bombastic from a technical standpoint. It's usually very polished and very clean, but it's, the typical Nintendo style, Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Odyssey. But those games with the clarity and quality of 4K could be really stunning, I think.
Yeah, I agree with it too. I mean, I think my thing that I'm more interested about is some other stuff has been coming out. And again, it's all rumors, it's all speculation. Just we'll kind of close off the topic with this. Is apparently NVIDIA and Nintendo are working on this type of tiered production schedule, to where it looks like we had the Switch Lite, and now we're beginning to our next model this year, and then 2 years from now we'll be getting a next model. They're going to go for like the cell phone tablet like model, to where every 2 years they'll kind of keep upgrading it. But since it's all Android based and everything like that, they're going to just kind of keep releasing this thing over and over again. They just kind of keep getting better and better and better as, they release more like newer and newer hardware. That's been kind of the latest thing now.
Tom, what do they price this at? If it comes out this year, what is the Nintendo Switch Pro? Let's call it priced at.
Nintendo Switch Pro. Honestly, I would say that it's probably going to be close to. I think if you're going 4K, if you're getting up to that point, I would say you're looking at probably 450 ish, around that area. I don't think they're going to get up. I wouldn't say getting up to 5, but I would say 400 to 450. It's got to be in somewhere in that range.
Switch is still selling at an unbelievable rate, and it hasn't dropped price pretty much at all. I think obviously if this thing comes out, they're going to drop the Switch price a little bit, and maybe this sort of takes over that price range. But I think it will be a little higher than the Switch, which is currently what, 350-ish, 350-ish.
Yeah, it's
I don't think it's going to be
that.
that. I agree. I think that it's going to be 400, close to that.
I think the only thing that really makes that weird for me is if it's still going to be portable. I just feel like if it was docked, we would get like that. Like, I mean, if it was a like, you know, an actual unit, it wasn't a portable tablet, you know, I feel like you'd actually be having a almost at the same entry price as what the Switch is now. With it being a portable tablet, I mean, I almost think again like 450, maybe 399 if they really push it down. But like at that time, like it's like if it's 399, I don't even know if it's going to be really kind of worth it. You know, I mean,
yeah, I don't disagree, but
it's a tough situation. But Nintendo has surprised us all.
Yes, exactly what I was going to say. I honestly don't quite understand why the Switch is selling as well as it is. It's almost like it's entirely off the backs of Animal Crossing. Like they really haven't had that great of a year. It feels like it's just word of mouth at this point in Animal Crossing, and it's just going to keep selling off of that. And then when Breath of the Wild 2 comes out.
Never discount the power of Nintendo with the average person. Like beyond just gamer, I know plenty of people who have talked to me for the past couple of years who just said, gaming console, I need one for my kid. You know, I'm not really into video games. Like, what should I get him? And my answer almost invariably all the time is the Switch.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have to wait and see. I don't think I'll be picking one up myself. I'll say that right now. I'm okay with my Switch.
It would depend on the tech for me. If it seemed like it was going to be a substantial upgrade and it was something that I could hook up a lot easier and have better audio for streaming and everything like that, then I might trade in the Switch to pick this one up, but we'll see.
Yeah, I guess if there's a good trade-in program, that's also a factor for sure. You guys in the chat voted. You said you think it should be called the Nintendo Switch XL. I'm kind of fine with the Switch Pro myself, but
I like the Switch
It's kind of like
Plus.
PS4 Pro.
Knowing Nintendo, it's going to be the new Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, that would be awful. Please don't do it.
God.
We'll have to wait and see.
No, Nintendo Switch U.
Yeah. Who knows? They do weird shit like that. Here's the crazy thing: if it turns out to be like an unbelievable failure, like the Wii U was, and sets them back again, like that. But anyway, Tom, you are up with our next and final topic of the level update.
A very interesting article as well for me. My topic today is Lucasfilm Games is the new brand for all Star Wars games. That's right, friends. We are out of EA jail. DualShockers writes, since Lucasfilm and everything that goes along with it was acquired by Disney in 2013, the crew behind the LucasArts team has mostly moved on. Instead, Disney decided to give EA exclusive rights to produce Star Wars games until 2023. Today's news doesn't change that deal at all. However, it does make it a bit easier to follow Star Wars video game news in one place. Lucasfilm Games represents a brand new banner under which all Star Wars games will live. Bethesda team. Now, with this, we've also gotten new information beyond.
Yeah, let's actually
just
hold off on that. Let's talk about just the renaming to start. I think that's almost a topic in and of itself, right?
It very much is, and I brought this up in our meeting this past week. I don't understand why you would get away from the LucasArts name. The LucasArts name is very much attached to a lot of very big positivity, regardless of whether or not you're talking about a Star Wars game, whether you're talking about The Secret of Monkey Island, if you're talking about Grim Fandango, like all these other games that were kind of like within that spectrum of LucasArts titles. Full Throttle was one of them. All the old Tim Schafer games that we all loved and enjoyed. But LucasArts meant a lot to a lot of people, and I mean, and even going through the Star Wars games, Rogue Squadron, talking about The Force Unleashed, a bunch of those games. Yeah, absolutely that as well. I mean, so
I think that among us avid gamers, for sure, LucasArts is something we know, like we remember that. But I would imagine what they're going after here is sort of more casual gamers as a whole, because we can still attach to this. It's still Lucasfilm Games. Lucasfilm is a part of our entire history and our childhood. And for people that aren't into games or weren't into games back in the 90s when LucasArts was really at its best, they still can attach to this. I'm assuming that's what they're going for here is something that's a little bit more broad in its appeal than LucasArts would be.
Perhaps, to me, I find that specific branding, I don't know what it actually gives you more. And I think, considering the fact that there's a lot of people who do know these games, and the fact that a lot of them have been re-released in some form or another,
Yeah.
I just, to me, I don't understand why you would try to move away from LucasArts. But I mean, it's a moot point at this point, because we know once the mouse makes their decision, that's what it's going to be.
So we're about to talk about a couple games that were announced, but do we think that, as far as like EA rights go, like they still have like a couple of years to release some games exclusively under EA with Lucasfilm games being partnered up, and then once 2023, whatever that contractual end is, then we'll start seeing these games we're about to talk about become more active?
I think so.
Yeah, because they still have until 2023, right? This isn't like canceling that contract out.
No, look, they're going to still try to push out as much as they can. I wouldn't be shocked if they try to sneak in another Battlefront game sometime within probably releasing holiday, probably 2022.
Mm-hmm.
My worry, of course, would be that they're rushing it to get it out there just so they can make money off of it. But, we'll see. I mean, I absolutely 100% believe, and I think we're probably going to see another Fallen Order as well. While I would hope that Infinity Ward would be working on something else. Well, Infinity Ward, Respawn Entertainment.
Yeah,
good.
You can forgive me for thinking it.
Yeah, no. Remember, Fallen Order's team was actually incredibly small.
It was
for an actual game. It was like around, I think, from what I remember from the principal development team, that was around 60 people.
Well, because the other half of them were too busy working on Apex Legends. So
yeah.
Yep.
So,
well, anyway, let's talk about these couple games that were announced not too long after Lucasfilm Games was revealed. We got some announcements.
Right. So these are the games that we have to look forward to that will not be coming under the EA banner. The first, Bethesda teams up with Lucasfilm or Lucasfilm Games for Indiana Jones. I want to sell you these fine leather jackets.
And specifically Machine Games, right?
Specifically Machine Games, best known for the Wolfenstein series of games that we've had coming out recently. In major news for fans of the cinematic icon, Lucasfilm Games announced today that a new Indiana Jones game will be swinging our way, being developed by the award-winning studio Machine Games and executive produced by game industry icon Todd freaking Howard. He's going to put it on everything. He's going to put it on your toaster. It's going to be on your It's going to be on a Tamagotchi. It just works, everyone. The game will tell a wholly original standalone tale set in the height of the career of the famed adventurer. So we are not getting Shia LaBeouf. We will be getting We will be getting prime World War II era Indiana Jones.
Yes. Now,
all right, I'm down for it.
Like Machine Games, we all know what they're known for. It's Wolfenstein. It's first-person shooters. What do we expect this genre to be for Indiana Jones from Machine Games?
You know what's weird? I was actually thinking about this, and I was like, a first-person Indiana Jones game could actually be interesting. I still think it's going to be third person.
It could be interesting. I agree. It's not what I want.
But I was like,
it's just GoldenEye at that point.
Well, but you know what I'm saying? But think about that, though. Like, if you were able to use the whip, you're using the whip for traversal, you're doing that from a first-person perspective, you're kind of keeping that, like, the set pieces itself, you if you're able to pull off an Uncharted, like, set piece, but in first person, I think there's some real... That's
almost a reason to do it by itself, right? Is they probably don't want to be compared to Uncharted.
Right. That was the only thing. That's my thing. Like, if you do third person, I feel like you're asking for that comparison no matter what. Tomb Raider had to deal with that with all its reboots as well, But at the same time, I would be excited to see Machine Games try to tackle a third person adventure game. I think that'd be awesome.
They clearly love killing Nazis.
They absolutely love killing Nazis. They are not shy about that. No, they were not shy about it.
I mean, this is probably going to be exclusive to Xbox, right?
I would think so.
Yeah, I would think so too.
I would think so. I think it kind of depends a little bit on like the contractual obligations, like when this deal went through and the timing of it all. Like, was Bethesda in talks with Microsoft before or after this happened with Lucasfilm Games teaming up with them? Those are the questions that need to be answered. But this is a great win for Xbox if that is the case, and I wonder if it was part of what led to that acquisition and that deal, is that they want their Uncharted. Not to, like, I don't want to harp on that too much, because like that kind of makes it feel like, you know, they're just copying Uncharted. They're just trying to have their own Uncharted, and that's not necessarily the case. They're trying to make their own great Indiana Jones game. But as we just talked about, they need to be careful about that comparison, because Uncharted is an award-winning, like 3 times in its franchise Game of the Year winning series, and it's beloved. And if it is compared to that, it's gonna be pretty tough to top it.
Well, this is the thing, because they need to understand what the tone of Indiana Jones is.
Right.
Uncharted is very much romancing the stone. Indiana Jones is pulpy. It's 1950s action serial. Like, they need to try and get to that level, as well as, you know, they're going to be trying to fit in all the puzzles and everything else that they're going to probably do that are going to evoke a lot of the Uncharted games, but they specifically have to get the tone right here.
Yep.
I agree with you.
And
We'll
we
got a
do
long
have
time
news
to wait.
about another Lucasfilm Games project.
I'm excited for this.
This time, and this will likely come out on all platforms.
Yeah.
With massive from Ubisoft teams. And they are going to be creating a game in the Star Wars universe. Now, Julian Garrity, of the Division 2 and the crew, will be the creative director. It will be developed on the Snowdrop engine. And we do know that it is already within very early development. So they're likely still doing some concept work. They're doing some very basic planning. But it is in the works currently. They are actively working on this. And it's possibly going to be open world. So potentially, are we going to be getting a Knights of the Old Republic situation?
Oh, from Massive Games? I don't think so.
KOTOR? I mean,
I don't know.
We won't be
studio,
getting that. We'll be getting something again. I know Mike kind of shot my idea down this. I honestly think this is Star Wars: The Division 2.
I agree. I think they're not going to change it up that much. Ubisoft doesn't change up their system that often, period.
It's not even that. It's think about what this does for Star Wars. You know, EA couldn't really make a games as a service Star Wars game hit, right? You get something like Division 2 and you kind of shake it up, you put it on beloved IP. You have all the excuses now Division didn't really have with the bullet shields, all type of stuff. And you give it almost that same frame drop. I mean, the same framework. I mean, I'm sorry. You're going to have my attention real quick there, especially if you're not really going to have Jedi incorporated into it. If you're going to have a lot more of the other stuff there, I mean, I think that'd be really cool if you're going to and you have some like space travel going on there, going to Tatooine, doing bounties, stuff like that. I would, that's where already my head is already going to where I was like, I could see this being already a success. Plus the Snowdrop engine is fantastic. So, I mean, that game's going to be a looker no matter what.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to look nice. I mean, I'm very interested to see, like, specifically, like, look, we're going to branch a little bit outside of just video games here for a second, because Star Wars is such a massive IP that deals with different mediums.
Right.
My only worry about this game is that it is going to be part of the marketing machine of them trying to push the High Republic. And frankly, I am not interested at all in the High Republic. Like, the idea of a Trandoshan Jedi, okay, that's pretty cool. But aside from my love for big, beefy lizard boys swinging around lightsabers, I'm really not that interested in the idea of the High Republic being anything that should be pushed at this point.
Oof. Yeah, I just remember that. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, a lot of
me down.
A lot of
I honestly feel like
that.
we have like 4 years to wait before we see like either of these games. I feel like at this point, I feel like it's 100% after 2023, because that's when EA has their partnership, out until. So we're looking at 2024, and I feel like these games aren't even going to be ready by then. I am kind of with the chat at this point. I'm not really interested in either. One of them being like, even though I could probably play it on PC, the Indiana Jones is going to be an Xbox game, and I don't know that I want to play it on PC. So I'll have to wait and see on that one how much I enjoy the direction they're heading in. But yeah, I'm with Vince, and I expect Massive to make the Division 2 Star Wars, and that's just not my brand.
Yeah,
no,
I feel you.
Cup of tea. So, but yeah, you guys in the chat said not interested in either. And with that, the level update has ended. We're going to take another quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get into our seasonal segment, which is Top 64 Games of the Decade. The tournament begins with round number 1. It's going to be very fast paced this time, guys. 32 battles in pretty much 32 minutes. We are going very fast. And we're going to vote as well, by the way. We're not letting you guys handle this entirely yourselves this time.
Nope.
Too often do you guys screw up these tournaments with your master hands and your, who was it? God, in the best villain. It was the guy from Resident Evil that just annoys the hell out of me with the glasses. Tom, please. Wesker.
Yeah.
That douche almost made it until the end of the best villain
Complete
tournament. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. No way in hell. But anyway, hold on tight. Trooper. We'll be back in a couple minutes, you guys. Welcome back to Season 1, Episode 1 of Next Level Gamescast, a Level Up Network's monthly gaming talk show live on Twitch at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show on the third Sunday of every month. Make sure you never miss an episode. Hit that heart button and turn on notifications so you get alerts whenever we go live with either variety gaming or talk shows. But don't just follow here. Please make sure to follow Vince and Tom on their respective channels as well. You can type in !Vince or !Jersey Tom or even !Tom in chat to get their links. If you're watching or listening to an archive, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And of course, become a part of the community even when we are not live on Discord at discord.gg/The Level Up Network. Got a lot of support tonight. Thank you so much to White Topaz for the $30 tippy. We do have after show active. 1 hour after show. We'll start the moment Next Level Gamescast ends, and that is simply us hanging out. Me specifically, Vince maybe as well, for an hour with you guys, talking about anything and everything. If you guys want to go a little deeper in some of these gaming stories, we can do that. Or if you just want to talk about, what's going on in our lives, we can do that as well. It's sort of just like a hangout to decompress from the talk show. So we're really excited that we were able to make that happen tonight. Right now, let's move on to the seasonal segment. As I said prior to the commercial break, we are going through a tournament to determine the top 64 games of the decade. We're going to go very fast with this, so you need to be on the ball in the chat, you guys, because you're only going to have about 40 seconds to get on these polls, because it's all viewer voted. We're going to vote as well, but it's mostly viewer voted. So if you're on a delay, what you need to do is keep an eye on the chat. If you see the poll, go into the chat, just execute when you see that. Don't wait for it to pop up. Don't wait for it to pop up on video. Exactly. Don't wait for it to pop up on video is what I'm saying, because you might, if you have a massive delay, you might actually fall too far behind. Let me make sure I've got all my stuff active here. Top 64. All right. Let's do this. You can also follow along with the bracket. I wonder if I should put that in the chat. I don't have it quickly available, so I'm not going to do that, but it'll make it exciting. You're not going to know what's coming up.
Little next level bracketology, if you will.
Yeah, next month we'll make sure we put the bracket in the chat for you, because this is going to be 3 months long. We're going through round 1 tonight. We'll do round 2 next month, and we'll do the final rounds, all of them, in the final episode of Season 1.
Or our own version of March Madness.
Yeah, that's kind of what this is supposed to be about. Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's see. Round 1. Battle number 1 of 64 battles. Let's see what we got here. The Last of Us versus Stardew Valley. All right. I think this is a pretty easy one. I think, right?
I don't know, man. The merits of Harvest Moon in Stardew Valley. I mean, come on.
Vote in the chat. Make sure you vote in the chat, Tom. All these, we're all voting on this.
We are all
voting.
Going in there. Voting.
Wish Tom was here, or Mike was here as well to vote. But yes, everybody vote. No, get out of here, Denny and Johnny. Get out of here. I swear to God. Last of Us goes down in the first round. You're going to see a madman, an absolute madman.
Yeah, I'm not responsible for Drew's actions.
Yes.
Drew came at me like a madman.
Be careful. Be careful, you guys. All right. Well, you guys voted. We all voted. The Last of Us wins the first battle, and we'll move on to round number 2 with 11 votes. Not bad. Off to a good start, everybody. Trish the Dish comes in just a second too late with Stardew Valley. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you didn't come in fast enough. Next up, we got Uncharted 4 versus Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Ooh, this is tough for me.
I think it's Remake.
Uncharted 4, baby. Uncharted 4. Let's go.
Oh god. Oh god. Now I feel like I'm gonna make the wrong decision.
I
here.
do love RE2 Remake.
Oh god.
Though.
Oh
Yeah,
god.
Remake for me means so much, and I know
I
it
get
does
it.
for Denny as well.
I get it. I get it.
I love me some RE.
Ooh, it's gonna be a close one. Not close enough though. Come on, guys. Let's
Yeah,
go
I'm
Uncharted
sorry.
4.
Do it
Let's
for
go
Huck.
Uncharted 4.
Do it for Tofu.
No, no. Yes, Tumbleweed. Yes, Tumbleweed. Come on. Ah, son of a bitch. I'm definitely losing this
Think
one.
about it, Mr. X, all those great mods, him as Thomas the Tank Engine.
I love it.
Ah,
Yes.
it's over. It's over. RE2 Remake moves on to round number 2. Actually, I need to open up the bracket so that I can put these results in. Forgot about that. Way to go to RE2 Remake on winning the second battle in round number 1. Next up, we've got Celeste versus The Last Guardian.
Fight!
Okay. All right. All right. This is a tough one in a way.
Yeah,
I
in a
really
good
did
way.
enjoy Celeste a whole lot, but The Last Guardian got an emotional reaction out of me, and we all know what that means. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celeste not getting any love though. I'm not sure how I feel
Yeah,
about
that
that.
We got
the
one.
feels is what does it.
Okay, Celeste
Yeah.
needs a little bit of love. Come on, Celeste was such a great
Yeah.
side-scrolling platformer. Like just the speed of that game, how
it's tight.
satisfying it was. Yeah,
It's
so
tight as hell. But look, The Last Guardian is just. Oh my god.
Oh my.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh my.
I know. I gotta have one of my coffee beers here.
Jeez.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's all I have to say about The Last of Us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Last Guardian.
It's an impactful game for sure. 11 votes. We all voted, and The Last Guardian moves on. Next up, we've got Animal Crossing New Horizons versus Assassin's Creed
Fight.
Odyssey. I don't play Assassin's Creed, so. Oh no! Wait, it says Divinity. Don't disregard the game.
Oh, no,
it's
you
not
blew it.
Divinity. It's not Divinity. It's Animal Crossing. It's not Divinity. It is not Divinity.
True.
It is Animal Crossing.
True.
Animal Crossing. Why does
It
this
is
say
Animal
Divinity?
Crossing, everyone.
Big show creator.
I switched that a while back. I don't know why this says Divinity Original Sin 2 still. I switched it out for Animal Crossing. Once I played Animal Crossing, I was converted. I needed to get it in there. And I know there's not a
Wow.
lot of Divinity fans in here.
I mean,
so
for me, it would have been Divinity or Animal Crossing.
doesn't
like,
matter anyway.
For me, Odyssey's fine, but like all the Assassin's Creeds to me are the same at this point.
Okay. all right.
Wow.
Well, Animal Crossing New Horizons does go on to round number 2. It worked out. It all worked out. in the
Yeah,
end,
it worked
guys.
out.
I think we're going to vote for that anyway. We've got
Hey.
Final Fantasy VII Remake versus Life is
Fight.
Strange, the entire first season. All of Life is Strange. Great game. Fantastic game, actually. But, come on now. Come on. Let's go.
Real
Let's
quick,
go, 7 Remake. Let's go.
real quick though. Bay or Bay?
Well, tell me the spelling. B-A-Y.
B-A-Y?
Yeah, without a
Vince?
doubt.
I've never finished it, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, you whore.
Oh, don't you say anything to me. That's
Life is
rude.
Strange is real good.
I know it
real
is.
good.
I just never sat down and finished all the way through.
Should do that.
I should. Well,
Should
I
correct
probably not.
that.
Well, I probably not.
We're getting the votes now, and 7 Remake has won with 10 votes. Moving on to round number 2. Way to go, 7 Remake. Way to go. Moving on to battle number 6 of this great tournament. We have Overwatch versus Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Fight.
Such a weird versus.
Yeah, it is. And I'm
Yeah,
sure
but that's
Mike
what happens
would be
when you're
voting
doing
for
a
Overwatch.
tournament.
Yeah, that's what makes these things interesting sometimes. I have to go with Ori just because I'm just not into Overwatch. I get it. I totally get it, but I'm going to go with
Yeah, you're lucky
my
Mike's not
personal
here.
opinion here.
He would give you a dissertation.
I don't care. I understand the impact of Overwatch. I don't care. Give it
It's
to
the
Ori.
it's the impact of Overwatch, the fact that it is a machine
Let's go, Ori.
at this point.
Oh shit, it's tied. Somebody tie break it. Let's go. Who's going to tie break it? We're running out of time. Oh shit, this is going to be a tie.
Oh, well.
Might be.
Do we have a
It is
sudden
time.
death?
Well,
Wow.
I'm going to take my vote back then. Oh wait, no, we got Forka. Forka came in there at the last second with
Wow, really?
Wow.
let's see. That would
Forka, I'll give it to we'll give it with Forka. We'll count that vote.
Yeah, we'll count it.
Yep.
We'll roll with it.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps. And next up we have The Last of Us Part 2 versus Rocket League. I mean, you guys suck. I hate you, Tom.
It's weird to me though, Tom. I feel like Rocket League has kind of really fallen off.
To be fair, it has. It definitely
Isn't that weird?
Well, it's, you know what? It's not that weird considering the fact that there's so much more esports out there, and there are other things that are competing for people's attention. You know, we tried at work at one of my old at my old job. NBC was trying to really push the Universal Open and try to get Rocket League to be the next big thing, but it never grabbed the kind of numbers that Overwatch and like Street Fighter were pulling.
Right.
Wow.
Right. But you guys weren't able to stage a coup there. Last of Us Part 2 does win, moves on to round 2 with 9 votes. And next up, we've got Gears 5 versus Fallout 4.
Fight!
I will not be voting on this.
This is
Yeah, I have no horse in this race.
Did you not play either?
I didn't play
I
either.
played Fallout 4 and I only played partially of 5, and neither. I would say they're both not great games, to be honest. That's what I would say.
You were in full. I would rather
Wow.
have nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's me though. That's me.
So not games of the decade, in your opinion.
Absolutely not.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I think you just got to go 4 here. Like 4 is not an amazing game, to be fair. It's not. It's nowhere reaches the heights that New Vegas did, and it's just complete disappointment coming off of that. However, versus Gears 5 just did not do anything for me.
Fallout 4 has won. And you guys, I did just post the Bracket Cloud link in the chat, so you can follow along now. Fallout 4 moves on to round number 2. We've got battle number 9 coming up, and it is Breath of the Wild versus Shovel Knight.
Fight!
I mean,
Oh damn.
come on.
Did the poll go?
Come on, Vince. Come on.
Nah, I'm
You know,
sorry.
Come
No,
the
I mean,
hell
no,
on.
no.
You know
Vince-
where I stand.
Vince-
you know where
Vince
I
is
stand
right.
on Breath of the Wild. You
Vince-
know where I stand on it.
Insane.
Vince
Insane.
I'm
is
sorry.
100% correct.
I'm sorry. No.
Shovel
I
Knight's
get that
very
people
good.
like
Don't get me
that game, but yeah. No.
Breath of the Wild should go at least to the 4th round, in my opinion.
I mean,
Shovel Knight's just so good. It's so freaking good,
Uh-oh.
man.
Did it not post in the chat? Guys, this might not be working.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It did not feel like the poll went.
Ah.
Time to count out the votes.
Let's pause the lives of everybody here.
Pause
Doesn't seem
lives.
like it. Doesn't seem like it posted.
I will
Where are we
say I will say that Breath of the Wild seems to have it.
From what I can count, yeah.
Yeah, let's put it in again. Let's just put it in again, just in case. We don't want to take any chances here, you guys. Poll number 9. Let's see if it works. We'll do it individually. Yeah, it worked. All right, there you go. I never saw the choices. Yeah, it did not pop in chat for some reason. In my hotkeys, seems like it broke. So I'll just do it individually now. But you guys have a chance to vote here. You get a second shot to make sure Breath of the Wild wins. Oh wait, we need to vote too. I don't want to let anything happen here.
Uh-huh. I
Vince
just
and
so
Tom
you know,
stage coup.
just so you know, I hate you for poll 14. I hate you so
For what?
much. For number 14.
For number
I hate
14.
you.
Oh yeah, I did that. on
I
purpose.
hate you. Just so that's clear.
Yes,
I hate you.
Yes.
I thought you would hate that, and it makes me happy that you do.
Mm.
All right, and Breath of the Wild does win. Moving on to round number 2. Way to go, Breath of the Wild. You go, Breath of the Wild.
Ugh.
We got battle number 10 coming up, and it is Bioshock Infinite
Fight.
versus Batman Arkham City.
Yeesh.
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 I gotta
That
go with
was a tough one for me.
Bioshock on this one.
This is the easiest decision I could ever make.
See, Arkham
Really?
City is actually my least favorite Arkham game.
Really, City?
Yep. Least favorite.
City's fantastic. I don't get this.
It's not bad. It's
Asylum
not
thing.
bad,
I
but
don't
it's
get the
open
Asylum
world and like. It's just not
But
my
here,
thing.
go back and play Asylum, and Asylum is not good anymore. Like
Product of its time. I still prefer Asylum
Ugh.
myself, and I prefer Night, honestly, even to City.
what?
I know. City just I,
need-
don't know. It didn't really. Do
I
it
need
for
a
me.
district. I need you to write an essay or a 10-minute long video on what your issue with this is now. Now I'm curious. This sounds like a
I don't.
great
It's not an
idea.
issue. I still like
Great
Arkham
thought.
City. It's just my least favorite.
Sounds
I
like
think it's still a great
cut.
game. Don't get me wrong.
I don't,
All right, moving on.
I mean, are you saying that you like Origins better than City?
I did play Origins, actually.
All right, yeah, I was about to say.
Friendship with Tom ended.
Next up, we've got Grand Theft Auto 5 versus Tomb Raider 2013. Drew is a casual now. I like them all. Don't get me wrong. It's just my
Filthy
least favorite.
cash.
Wow.
I'm glad Mel's not here to see me vote against Tomb Raider, but
Poor Mel.
poor Mel. But Tomb Raider's getting some love. I see it. I see it. Drew's burning bridges left and right. What can I say? It really isn't that ballsy of a statement, I don't think. It's not like I'm saying it like pales in comparison. It just says it's my least favorite. Don't tell her, Duroc, please. No.
Yeah, someone tag her on the Discord, please.
No.
Let her know. Clip it, actually.
Clip it.
Grand
clip
Theft Auto
it, clip it, and
5.
tag Mel.
Moves on to round number 2. Next up, we've got battle number 12. Blake clips his birthday. Journey versus Super Mario Odyssey.
I'm sorry.
This one's tough, actually, for me.
It's not tough for me.
I love Journey. Journey's was my favorite indie game for the longest time.
I
Super
think
Mario Odyssey's
You
pretty
gotta
freaking awesome.
jump up in the air.
Well, clearly, we can see the direction this is going in, so I'll just
no,
follow
I'm
it.
sorry. Journey is 8 times the game than
I mean, I've
Odyssey
got
is.
Journey all over this basement, so yes, I love Journey. It's everywhere. I've spent $300 in Journey memorabilia.
All right. Friendship with Drew brought back.
Yes, I've got a lot of stuff. I've got the limited edition statue. There was $200. I've got it all. I love Journey.
Odyssey's a fun game, but it is not. It's not what Journey is. What Journey meant to a lot of people.
Journey was very special, without a doubt. Moving on to battle number 13. What do we got? Wait for it. Versus Bloodborne versus Devil May Cry 5.
It's a toughie.
It is.
really.
It is a toughie.
I haven't played Devil May Cry 5. And I want Bloodborne to go forward, so I've got to vote Bloodborne.
I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Just
for Devil
follow
May
it, guys.
Cry
Look at the
5.
chat. Look
I'm
at the
sorry,
chat.
It's the best. Sorry, Devil May Cry 5 is just, I think, better than Bloodborne. I'm gonna be that
Chat?
way. I'm sorry.
Get him. Get him.
It's fine. You can get
Look at all those zeros. Look at all them zeros.
Look, I can't hate you for thinking that. I really can't, because
I look forward to
DMC5 is it's a great game. Really is. I just Bloodborne. I just love that much more.
Friendship ended with Vincent.
Friendship
Get him.
Confirmed to be ended with Tom.
Oh, God.
Bloodborne has won with 13 votes. That might be one of the biggest landslides yet.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay.
Next up,
You all
the
know that I don't
dreaded,
care. Fan of
the
DMC.
I
dreaded
don't
battle
care.
number 14
I hate you. I hate you.
is Ghost of Tsushima versus Death Stranding. Yes.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll be the first one there. Yes.
I don't
Death
have a horse in
Stranding.
this race. I'm actually going
Yeah,
to...
your
What's
devotion
I'm gonna-
to
what's
Kojima lives on.
Not
What's the
devotion.
word?
It's just, it's a great game. It's just a fantastic game that I just don't quite understand why everyone wants to hate on it.
I don't,
I don't
they
think
always-
anybody...
I don't
Dude,
hate
it
on-
won the most number of Game of the Year awards that year. Nobody hates it that much.
Mm-hmm. Except for this community. Everyone always going,
I think we just like to bust your
package
balls
boy.
is all it is. We just like to
Package
bust your
Boy,
balls.
Jimmy Johns and everything.
Hey,
I've had to,
hey,
I had to deal
hey.
with that
Red
torment.
Band.
Hey. Starting next week, I'm playing Death Stranding, so...
Thank you.
And Norman Reedus presents Ride on AMC Network.
Ghost of Tsushima wins with 9 votes. Sorry,
Fine.
Vince.
It's okay. It's
Monster
still,
energy drinks.
Sorry,
everyone.
Vince.
Drink your
hey,
monster.
I love Ghost of Tsushima too, so I mean it works for me either way.
Next up, we have Minecraft versus Gone Home. An interesting... Did that work? Didn't show up on the
Yes.
screen, but it did work.
Yeah, it's there.
It didn't show up on screen for some reason, but it did work.
Oof, this is tough for me. These are like 2 complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
I got to go with Gone Home. I love Gone Home a lot.
God, Home did so many things to me.
Yeah, that game did a lot of things to me as well.
Well, I mean, Minecraft meant so much to me and Denny in college.
Ooh,
Spider
this
Skull
one
Island,
looks pretty
Denny,
tight.
You know.
But Minecraft, I think, has the lead right now, if I had to guess, which I'm not happy with. There you go, Vince. There you go, Vince. Get it done.
I just don't see the poll display on the stream. That's the
It
only thing I
didn't.
don't
This time
see.
it didn't, which makes this one
Okay.
interesting. It's a tie, son of a bitch.
Oh,
Tom,
dude.
did you vote?
I did.
Damn.
All
What do we
right.
do? What do we do?
I don't know.
Coin
Flip a
flip?
coin.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of the only thing I can think is to flip a coin.
Flip a coin.
All right, I got a quarter right here.
All
Make this
right,
happen.
do it, man.
All right, stand by.
Wait, we got a sign. We got a sign.
All right, well, sign because I just flipped and I'm about to put it on my head.
Heads is Minecraft. Tails is Gone Home.
Gone home.
Yes. Ah, way to go, Gone Home. Way to go, buddy. Moving on. Moving on. We got battle number 16. Okay, I think this one will be pretty easy. I think, and it is.
Yeah,
Demon Souls versus Spelunky.
this one should pretty much be a clean sweep, in my
I don't know about
opinion.
that. I think if Mike is here, you actually would have voted for Spelunky.
Ah, King Kurt. That's
Mike,
a rock.
I think would have voted Spelunky as well.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm actually surprised. I thought Spelunky would get a little bit more love than this. Didn't know we had so many Souls fanboys in this
Or
community.
maybe people just enjoyed seeing you suffer on stream.
Yes, I did suffer. Everybody suffers. when it comes to
Everybody
Demon
suffers
Souls.
on stream.
King Kurt, I get it. Spelunky is a special game.
Did
To a
you
lot.
play it
No.
just to suffer? Is that why you were there?
I was. All right. Thank you, Mike, for the second follow of the night. I appreciate you, Farmer. Demon Souls wins with 11 votes. Way to go,
Wow.
Demon Souls. Next up, we got Battle number 17. Hey, I like to keep games moving on this stream. I'll play Demon Souls myself. You guys don't need to see it. Next up, we got Red Dead Redemption 2 versus Borderlands.
Fight!
I hate both these games.
Wow.
I hate both of them. I think they're both not great games, period.
Hate's a strong word. Do you hate Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yeah, I hate Red Dead Redemption 2.
What?
I hate
Wow.
So
I hate it. I like honestly, the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I'd give that game like a 5 out of 10. I think that game is awful.
Damn.
As someone who loved Red Dead Redemption 1.
I look forward to getting back to it someday. I need to. I'm hoping to play it when it has its eventual
Wow, friendship really
PS5
ended with Vince.
remaster.
look, Borderlands 2, I had a lot more fun playing that, and I went back and played it again when they re-released it with the Handsome Jack collection.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it. It was fun, dumb, turn off your brain fun, but I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2, that was a freaking chore. I still haven't beaten it.
Wow.
Guys,
Yeah, I stopped because it
just-
just wasn't working out for my stream time. But moving on, next battle, we got Diablo 3 versus
I hate you
Sekiro.
again.
Shadows Die Twice. Come on, Vince, you know the answer to this.
You're like speaking to like two different sides of me right now. This sucks. Why do you do this to me?
You
Why
know
am
the
I
answer.
suffering?
Don't
I do.
resist.
I know, and Mike's gonna hate me for it, but whatever.
Yes, that's it. That's it, man. That's it.
Ugh.
Good job. Way to go. I knew you had it in you.
Ugh.
Wasn't gonna
Now I
matter anyway. Look at the chat.
Now I
It's all-
feel
it's all
dirty.
ones.
Now
Look at all
I feel
those ones.
now I feel disgusting. I need to go and like play like 20 hours of Diablo 3 tonight to cleanse my soul.
Sekiro,
No, I mean, this would be a
baby.
lot easier if it was Diablo Mobile, because then Vince would definitely go for that.
Actually, did you hear how Diablo Immortal is actually pretty decent? Like it's actually really good.
Is it really?
Yeah, all the
Is it,
previews are
though?
glowing for it.
That's disappointing. I want that game to suck.
Moving on to the next
Wow.
battle.
I'm
We
just being
have
attacked.
Undertale versus Resident Evil 7.
Fight!
Honestly,
Honestly,
this
Undertale,
is
baby.
not good for me.
Undertale.
Honestly, it just because I never finished Undertale is the only reason why I'm voting the
Dude.
way it is.
Only
But
game I gave a
also-
10 that year that I played it.
But at the same time, I understand why people love Undertale.
Oh,
I
dude,
just
it's amazing.
never got to play it, like sit down and play it.
I'm going to say the thing that's going to make my decision for this is that the community for Undertale is absolutely terrible.
Dude, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Dude, we had some weird people come into those streams. Real weird. That was my first full-time game, and it was a trip.
Yeah,
They are
that's-
passionate, man, to say
That
the
is
least.
the only thing that's keeping me from saying Undertale. I mean, granted,
Oh,
I
come
love,
on,
I
that's not
love
good.
RE7. I really do love RE7. Like I genuinely have feelings for that game, but it would have been Undertale if not for the community.
Yeah. Well, moving on, we've got Resident Evil 7. What? Phantom
Yeah.
Pain versus The Walking Dead.
This is so easy.
I can't believe Resident Evil 7 won that. What the hell?
Hey, never don't discount the power of family.
Dude.
Welcome to the
Even
family.
though I don't love Phantom Pain, I'm actually gonna vote for it. I like The Walking Dead, but it's kind of aged pretty hard though. It's
I
the
wanna
original
say-
season 1 Walking Dead. Concur. The
Now you're all
original.
gonna have a bad time. Here's my thing. There's a reason why I have a very huge issue with Walking Dead. Is I hate how they dropped the final episode like 3 weeks before the Game Awards or whatever they called the Video Game Awards back then, and it took the Game of the Year away from Journey because they
Yeah.
released their final episode 3 weeks before the polling started. It was
Which
full crap.
like kind of retroactively destroyed all your decisions that you made prior to that.
Yep.
Like they didn't matter anymore. Anyway, Phantom Pain did win and moves on to round 2. Next up, we've got
Yes,
Battle 21. Let's wait for it. And we've got The Elder Scrolls V versus What Remains of Edith Finch. Let's go, Edith Finch. That's my vote.
It truly is the game of the decade because it comes out every year.
Jesus.
Edith Finch, yeah. Or Elder Scrolls, yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Come on, let's get some love for Edith Finch in here. Let's go. You scrubs. Elder Scrolls. Give me a break.
You can't stop it, man.
There
You
we
can't-
go,
You,
there we
you can't
go.
stop the Todd Howard machine.
Dude, that's what I like to see. There we go.
It's
There
weird
we
to me
go.
because I actually
Let's
don't
go.
really care for Skyrim, but you know how they say, Tom,
Dude.
like your first Bethesda game or your first
Yes!
Elder Scrolls game is the one that you remember. Mine was Oblivion.
Yes.
So that was the
Suck
hard thing for
it.
me.
And that's fair. Look, Oblivion is the same way with me. But Skyrim I enjoyed. I enjoyed it for what it was when, it wasn't going nuts with the glitches and everything else.
Yeah.
Edith Finch just took out Skyrim. That's what
Wow.
I'm talking about.
Todd
Let's
Howard
go.
disapproves.
Let's go. Love it. Battle number 22 coming up. Edith
Stop
Finch
the
is
steals.
fantastic.
Stop the cows!
Final Fantasy 14 versus Far Cry 3.
Guys, it's 14. Don't even vote for Far Cry 3. I'm sorry. Just don't do it. Just don't do
I'm
it.
on your side here, man. I'm on your side.
Just don't do it.
Dude, I'm so happy that Edith Finch won that.
14 is fantastic. Are you Tom?
Here's my argument. My argument for Far Cry 3 is that it was a good game from the start. I didn't have to wait after the game released for it to get good.
Damn.
Get out of
Wow.
here, Danny. Don't make me do it. I'll ban you, and then I'll bring you back, and then I'll ban you again. Let's go. Let's go, Final Fantasy 14.
Nah, I agree with you, Tom.
It
I
was
think Far
close,
Cry 3
man.
is actually a very good game.
That
I
was
think
close.
the rest of them. I think the rest of them have really lacked in
The
comparison.
only legitimate knock on Far Cry 3 is the fact that Voss was not the main villain throughout the entirety of that game.
And plus some of the story stuff too, like some of the more thematic aspects of it, I think.
Next up, we've got Super Mario Galaxy 2 versus Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2 for
Yeah,
me.
Titanfall, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, sorry.
Guys, you're going against 98 on Metacritic, Super Mario Galaxy 2?
Yeah, I don't care about Galaxy. I don't care about Mario.
Jeez. I
I
haven't
mean,
played Galaxy, so I have to
I
vote
care
for
about
Titanfall.
Mario, but I also care about giant throw robots better.
You do love robots. You and Denny both have like a weird fetish for robots.
Oh, we love giant
with
robots.
emotions.
Chicks dig giant robots. We dig giant robots. Mega
And
Did you
it's
Sexual.
one of
cry
the best
in that scene in
single-player
Blank Man?
campaigns.
When the robot
And
dies.
it is likely the best single player first person shooter campaign that's come out in the
Since
decade.
Half-Life 2.
In half the I would put it right up there, 100%.
Tom, did you cry when J5 died in Blank Man?
There was a very big part of me about missing J5.
J5! J5!
I
Moving on.
can't believe we just had a Blank Man reference on this show.
Moving on, we got battle number 24. Get used to it. I like to reference movies on this.
Yeah,
on
the
this
old
damn show.
the old Pix 11 Saturday afternoon movie.
We got Portal 2 versus Cuphead.
I'm sorry, I loved Portal 2.
Yeah, Portal 2 is fantastic.
I wish. Why is this not available on like the PS4 or PS5 or any of the current generation consoles? Like, why is it not a thing? Why is it not a thing?
I'm very much surprised that that game did not get re-released everywhere.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very bizarre.
It is so bizarre.
Damn, this is closer than I thought it would be. Okay, now here we go. Portal 2's taking a lead. Go on ahead.
But I still think Cuphead's a great game.
Yeah, Cuphead's fantastic.
Haven't finished it, like, you know, and haven't really played it fully, but I could still, I mean, come on, look at it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way, Danny, for your link there.
I'll have to check that out later. I got to stay on course here.
You got to stay on topic. I got you.
Yeah.
Stay on target.
This is a tight segment we got here. Real tight. Moving on to battle number 25. We've got Witcher 3 versus The Witness.
Fight!
After the stuff with CD Projekt Red, I wonder if that'll affect this at all. Probably.
You know what?
Right?
It doesn't, because you got to look at it in a vacuum. You can't look at it based on what happened with a different.
The Witness is like one of my favorite puzzle games ever, but yeah, I got to go with The Witcher. It's just so much more there, right?
Yeah.
So much more meat on the bones. Those DLCs were fantastic too. And I count that as all one package.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Was that fair to count that all as one package?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah. Well, pretty big.
Look, if you're going to go ahead and list Final Fantasy 14 as the higher game, like that took years to get good.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
No.
Yeah, 1.0 was a disaster. Moving on to battle number 26, we have Inside versus Final Fantasy 15.
Fight!
Both very good games. Inside is so good.
But two very different games.
Yeah, so different, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Inside for me was an experience.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, it was. One of these is art. And it's very clearly Inside.
I'm going to go with Inside.
Yeah, I mean, I love 15. I really love Final Fantasy 15, especially since I, reviewed it last. It was how you're playing last month for me.
Yeah.
But Inside was. I think I played through that game like 6 times when it first came out. I was just so impressed by it. I was like, this is amazing.
Oh boy, we're flipping another coin here, Tom.
King Kurt, why are there so many Final Fantasy games? Because there was a lot that were released this decade.
Yeah, you had 14, 7 Remake, and you had 15. All this decade.
Are we fully in coin flip mode here?
Yeah, we're in a coin flip mode.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Inside would be heads.
We have Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
All right.
The coin spoke.
Coin has spoken.
Coin has spoken. Final Fantasy 15 moves on to round number 2. I actually would have preferred Inside in that case.
As would I have.
Yeah. It's all right.
Moving on, we've got battle number 27. Getting close to the end here. And it is Pokemon X and Y versus Hellblade's Senua's Sacrifice. It was tough to choose a Pokemon game. But my general consensus that I received looking up all the games is that X and Y is the best of. So, just apply it to whatever Pokemon game you like.
Pokemon.
Pokemans.
Either way, I'm giving it to Hellblade.
Yeah, it's Hellblade.
Nice. Look at all these ones. I was actually expecting more Pokemon.
I'm surprised that this is the
especially in the season of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Pokemon doesn't even make it past round 1 in the season dedicated to it.
But look, Hellblade was in and of itself that is a game that is an experience unlike I think any that most people have had.
The binaural audio, dude. Holy crap.
Flawless victory to Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. Wow. Ninja Theory and Xbox have a winner on their hands. Moving on to battle number 28.
Yeah, hopefully they actually do something with it.
Hollow Knight versus Doom.
Fight.
Sorry, Tom. It's Hollow Knight.
I have no horse in this race, so I won't be voting.
Let's go, Hollow Knight. Let's go.
Hollow Knight is fun. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I do enjoy a Metroidvania, but
get out of here. Fun.
But look, I mean, Doom just how crunchy it is. How
patronizing
so
son of a bitch.
You get to see just the angry.
Hollow Knight is fun.
And honestly, you play Doom 2016. I have a hard time discerning who is truly the angriest man in video games between him and Kratos, and I lean toward
true.
Doom guy after playing Doom 2016.
Wow.
Hollow
He
Knight.
has no time to even listen to exposition. He just punches shit.
Yeah.
Hollow Knight would kill him any day, as just happened.
Mm.
Way to go, Hollow Knight. Moving on to round number 2.
Step into the Halo suit of Doom guy.
Upset victory. And we have battle number 29. Goes to God of War versus Bayonetta
Fight.
2. 2 action, what would you call it? Classic
tough.
action,
This
character
is tough
action
for me.
games.
But two very different ones, because one's a stylistic action, character action game, and the other one is very much, very
That's true.
gritty. Down.
God of War used to be character action. God of War 2018 is not
Yes.
really character action.
Yes, this is very much more gritty, in your face action, as opposed to styling on people.
Yeah. Another blowout we got going on here. Look at this. Not surprised at all
Yeah.
about this one.
No.
God of War gonna get a flawless victory.
Probably doesn't help that a lot of people haven't played Bayonetta 2
That
in a
too.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would definitely be a concern.
Because, I mean, it's a good game.
It really is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, Bayonetta is great, and if you get a chance to play it, you should play
You
it.
should.
I just can't take her seriously.
You're not supposed to.
The way she walks and shit, I can't handle
Yeah,
it.
You're
no,
not supposed to.
Yeah, you're
Like,
supposed
that's
to.
the point. Yeah.
It's like
Battle
RE4.
number 30.
Fight.
Hades versus Horizon Zero Dawn.
Ooh. I think you
Oof.
got
Danny says oof.
it's a big oof, and it may seem that I voted quicker than but I looked at this previously, so I was able to come with the decision. I think it's got to go Hades.
I go Hades.
I love Horizon and everything it brought to the table, and maybe it's because that it's fresh in my mind that I'm feeling this way, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's Hades. I really do.
Oh man.
only thing
Horizon
that
Zero
sucks
Dawn takes
For
it.
you guys, though, is I just haven't played Hades. So I really
Okay.
can't comment on it.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Well, it doesn't matter. It was more than a few votes. Horizon Zero Dawn takes it, goes on to round number 2. Got 4 battles left. Actually, 2 battles left. This is it. Battle number 31. Wait for it. We have Dark Souls 3 versus Persona 5.
Fight.
I have no horse in this race, so I will not be voting.
Oh man. Bad start for Persona.
Yeah, it's the Thieves, man. It's Choka.
Persona. Let's go. Let's go, Persona. Oh, come on. Tied. Got a tie. Come on, guys. Get your votes in. 8 seconds. Yes,
Get back
do it,
in.
Denny.
You've
Do it.
never seen it coming.
Ooh, I think we're flipping a coin again.
Yes, Persona
Oof.
5 is free on PS Plus, and I do highly recommend everybody, if you don't get Royale, get normal P5.
All right, we're flipping a coin. Do it, man.
Oh, we are flipping a coin. Okay,
Yeah,
stand
Dark
by.
Souls 3 is heads.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Whoop. It's Dark Souls.
Ah.
Oh.
Oh, you whores.
I groaned too because I kind of want Persona to win.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
want Persona to go forward.
Never
Oh, well, that's a
seen
bummer.
it coming.
But Dark Souls 3 is considered the best of the Dark Souls games, right? For the most part.
I don't know. Did you see how people think Dark Souls 2 is the best one now?
Oh,
It's
yes,
weird.
Oh, get outta
Suddenly
here.
that flipped. The community is very.
I just don't get it. That's why I don't think any of them are.
Final
Fight.
battle of round 1, and this episode is Nier Automata versus Marvel's Spider-Man.
Everybody in this community should know that we become as gods, and we go near Automata.
Yeah.
I didn't get far enough to vote on it. It was good from what I played, but I don't know. I'm gonna stick out of this one. I'm gonna stick out because I think
Yeah,
I
I'm
could
gonna-
love it, but I don't want to vote for it.
Praise be to based Yoko Taro and his zip file of 2B fan art.
I mean, here's the thing: is I like both games. I like them pretty much on an equal level.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised. Spider-Man is out in round 1. Holy shit. Holy shit! I did not expect that.
It's Nier, dude. It's Nier is an extremely
Damn.
fantastic game.
There are some
Yeah.
upset
Does it
people I'm
again.
betting in chat right now. Marvel's Spider-Man got knocked out in round number 1, you guys.
He would be
What?
beside himself.
Maybe the biggest upset of the night? No, probably Skyrim is the biggest upset of the night. Edith Finch took out Skyrim. Probably the biggest upset of the night.
Lost all credibility.
Lost all credibility.
Stop the steal.
You guys just don't play true Japanese style games.
Hey, I didn't even vote on that one, King Carrot. I did not vote.
I mean, you can
I stayed
always
out.
break it. You can always do it.
No, I really don't want to because I think I could love Nier, but I
Okay.
didn't get far enough to do it. I did really like Spider-Man, but I don't think I loved Spider-Man. It was like an 8.5 for me.
I mean, they're both fantastic games. Just Nier has this escalating finale that is just ridiculous.
As most Platinum games do.
Yes. Dear God.
So next month, we will have 16 battles in round number 2, which means we'll be able to devote a little bit more time to each battle and start discussing these a little bit more heavily. This first episode was all about knocking out the fluff, narrowing this down to half of the contenders, and that's what we did. We got those scrubs like Skyrim and Marvel Spider-Man out of here in the first episode. Get those scrubs out. Doom 2016 as well. Get out of here,
Stop
scrub.
antagonizing the chat, Drew.
I'm sorry. They're taking back their subs right now.
Yeah.
I apologize. Please don't do it. Don't do that. All right, guys. We have one more segment we got to get through here on this episode of Next Level Gamescast. It is called the Speed Run. And the way it works here is we look at what we have in the speed run and we try and calculate how long we think it should take for us to get through this. And we have 15 stories this week, and I have calculated 16 minutes. I think we can get through this speed run in 16 minutes. If we don't, I'll give 250 SP to everybody in the room.
Ooh, okay. I like it.
All right?
Ooh.
How's that sound? All right. And 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Square Enix has trademarked multiple Final Fantasy related titles. Final Fantasy VII related. The first one is Ever Crisis. Tom, what is Ever Crisis, if you had to guess right now?
Ever Crisis, I feel like is going to be. I don't know what it's going to be, Drew. I'm guessing. if I'm really guessing, I'm going to say it's a complete re-release of compilation.
Really interesting. Okay.
That's what I honestly think it's going to be. I think it's
Vince,
going
what
to
do
be
you
a
think Ever
re-release.
Crisis is?
I don't know. Like when you in the Discord point out like the naming convention, it kind of shook me a little bit. But for whatever reason, I still feel like this is like their definitive edition re-release that is going to incorporate some more Tifa, but also with the big shocker being they're going to incorporate Zack into the main story part of this, and it's going to be more of like a. That's kind of how I feel this is going to be. It's going to be a great way for them to release it on PC and Xbox and have this complete experience, is what I think.
But I don't think it's going to be Ever Crisis. I just think that's going to be
Okay.
Final Fantasy VII Remake Definitive Edition or whatever
just
the hell
don't
they
think
decide
so.
to call it. Ever Crisis, they don't waste this naming convention like this. Listen, guys. Advent Children, AC. Before Crisis, BC. Crisis Core, CC. Dirge of Cerberus, DC. Ever Crisis, EC. You don't waste EC on a re-release of a game you just had last year. No, this is going to be a standalone big game. I think it's either going to be seeing Zack in his reality where he survived, or it's going to be like a full-on like sequel potentially to all of this. I don't know how they do it, but that's not the only one. We actually have to talk about the
Actually, you
first
know what, Drew?
soldier.
You're right. It's actually going to be the Kate Sith game that we were all asking for.
I can't wait, man. Finally, it's been long enough that character has been pushed to the side. We also have the first soldier was trademarked, which, I mean, there's really only one place this could go. We're going to get a Sephiroth game, you guys.
That's crazy.
Right? We got it. We got to get a Sephiroth game. They're going to make us... Because a lot of people had a problem with 7 Remake in that he felt like omniscient and like too godlike. Well, hey, guess what? Now you get a game dedicated to showing his humanity and where he started. That's what they're going to do. They're going to make us feel for Sephiroth. Moving on. PlayStation CES video shows multiple tentative release dates for upcoming games. We have Ratchet & Clank, still 2021, but not actually a month or a season or anything like that. Horizon Forbidden West, 2021. Returnal, March 19th, 2021. We knew that. That's good. Pragmata, 2023 now.
Wow.
It was originally announced as 2022 at the PlayStation 5 reveal, so pushed back. Solar Ash is now June of 2021. Kena Bridge of Spirits, March 2021. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't want to put Returnal and Kena in the same month. I don't want them to cannibalize each other. They need to be careful with that. Stray, October 2021. Ghostwire Tokyo, October 2021. Little Devil Inside, July 2021. Project Athia, January 2022. That's the big Square Enix game they revealed.
Right.
And Hitman 3, we know, is coming out this month. Project Athia, let's talk about that for a second. If that comes out, let's say first quarter 2022, does that mean Final Fantasy 16 has to come out this year? Or does that mean that Project Athia actually comes out before Final Fantasy 16?
I honestly think Athia is getting delayed, personally. But, I think I think that's going to get pushed off to 2023.
Yeah, I'm the same way too.
Project Athia 2023, you think?
Or 2020, I'm sorry, 2020...
Late
No,
2022, you think?
Late 2022, I would say holiday 2022.
Okay. Holy crap. Okay. It's possible. It's possible. I hope it is like first quarter 2022 for Project Athia, and I hope Final Fantasy 16, they are really gunning to get out at the end of 2021. That would be absolutely amazing. Let us know what you guys think in the chat as far as what you're excited for. Moving on, we have a delay watch. As you can see on screen, Hogwarts Legacy has been delayed into 2022. More time for us all to hate J.K. Rowling, and hopefully for them to find out a way to distance themselves from her.
Yes.
They need as much time as possible to get out. All right, moving on. We got a rumor for you guys. Bully 2 was canceled in 2017. It's actually kind of interesting when you get into more information. DualShockers writes, Tez 2 and Jan 2295 are two former Rockstar Games insiders that tend to leak some details about the company's future. So according to Tez 22, he claimed that the pre-production phase on Grand Theft Auto 6 started in 2015 and then slowed down in 2017 due to the big load of work that was required for Red Dead 2 and Bully 2. However, the team decided to cancel Bully 2 and just share focus on GTA 6 and Red Dead 2 instead. But that's not all. Bully 2 was supposedly canceled twice now. Before that as well, it was canceled in 2009 and it was canceled in 2013 as well. So this game has been canceled 3 times. I think it's time for all of you fans of Bully 2 to find a new show and then move on.
It sucks though, because Bully could be a great vehicle for them to be working on their whole AI that they've always been trying to push and everything like that. And they just, I don't know what the issue of that game is to gain it to release. It's weird. Yeah. It's very strange.
I don't think it's ever happening at this point.
Probably not, no.
Nintendo has acquired Next Level Games. They are best known right now for Luigi's Mansion 3, which did really well. But they actually started off on a GameCube with Super Mario Strikers in 2005. They also did 2009's Punch-Outs for the Wii and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for the 3DS. Nintendo says the company expects that the closer relationship with the studio will deliver an anticipated improvement in development speed and quality. We don't usually hear about Nintendo acquisitions, but this is good. This is a good one for them. It makes a lot of sense. You know, we're going to talk a little bit more about acquisitions in a moment, but Nintendo's got to get in on that. Next up, we've got a roundup here of all of the Game of the Year awards, a tally of how many each won. And you might be surprised that the game that scored a 53 user score on Metacritic, also known as The Last of Us Part 2, has almost 55% of the Game of the Year awards. 240 of them went to The Last of Us Part 2. But not only that, 82 Reader's Choice Awards went to Last of Us Part 2. Let's tally up all the other Reader's Choice Awards. Hades got 3, Ghost of Tsushima got 10, Animal Crossing got 1, Cyberpunk got 12, Doom Eternal got 0, 7 Remake got 1. So where did this come from? Where did the hate come from? The game has 158 awards from media outlets for Game of the Year, and it's got 82 from Reader's Choice.
Right.
Where are all these haters now?
I don't know where they're at.
Who the hell
Hiding.
knows? But yeah, Last of Us 2 won. In second place, though, Hades with 52 awards, Ghost of Tsushima with 46, Animal Crossing New Horizons with 25, Cyberpunk 2077 with 21, but most of those are Reader's Choice, actually, which makes sense. And 7 Remake getting 18. Very nice. Moving on. We got our first look at the Mortal Kombat movie up on screen, you guys. Look at this. This looks real nice, I gotta say. What do you think, Vince?
I haven't got to really see much of it. I only saw some very few screenshots of it, and yeah, I'm kind of down for it.
Look at that shot right there of Sub-Zero. That is nice.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's definitely a passion project. I'm hoping the plot is not as shaky as what has been leaked, but it looks at least there's some good. If anything else, it'll be good for visuals for sure.
Right, that's what I'm thinking as well. Also love Steve Harvey as Jax. That looks fantastic.
That
Really
looks
good.
Fantastic.
First MK movie is actually solid, but I think this has a chance really to beat it as long as it doesn't take itself too seriously. Another shot of Kano there at the end.
Right.
I was hoping for a trailer this week. We got EW pictures instead, but hopefully that trailer pops soon. There actually is a very short snippet of Mortal Kombat that released with the HBO Max advertisement this week. So if you guys want to see Sub-Zero create that icicle, you can actually see a snippet of it on that little advertisement. Next up, Sony actually started refunding people this past couple weeks for Maneater because it is now a PS Plus title. This is a new initiative that we have not seen before for PlayStation. I like it a lot.
I'm hoping that they keep with it too. I'm hoping that this is not something that goes away, as the generation goes on. I'm hoping this is kind of a ongoing. We'll refund it, even if it's not the full price. You'll still get a refunded credit if a game gets moved to Plus.
Yeah,
I still
definitely.
like that.
Yeah, I think they should absolutely be giving you store credit.
Yeah,
In those
Without a doubt.
scenarios. But hey, good guy Sony. Good for these guys.
Sony has ended production of all PS4 models except one in Japan, and that is the 500 gigabyte PS4 Slim. So the Pro is gone. In
weird.
Japan. Kind of makes sense. It's kind of like what Xbox did with the Xbox Series X. They just want people to go towards the next gen at this point and create a further gap. So it kind of makes sense, and I somewhat expect them to do the same thing in America very soon.
Very much, yeah.
The Elder Scrolls, the scrub that it is, can't even make it to round 2 in the
Antagonizing the
March
chat.
Madness. It is in development for Netflix, though.
I'm
And
excited
we
for
got this covered, writes that it's in development already. Daniel Richtman this week says that Netflix is working on a show based on it and that it'll be as big as their take on The Witcher. I expect it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy for that.
I'm
Maybe
just
some
curious
dragons.
on how much they're going to be able to actually differentiate that from The Witcher.
I say they feel pretty different to me in their tone and atmosphere. I think they could separate them for sure. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not
think
going to
they'll
watch
go
it probably, but
They'll go for probably a more fantastical element, I think, Tom. It's going to be a little bit more humorous, I think.
Yeah.
you think Elder Scrolls will be more humorous?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually. That does make sense. Witcher's kind of more edgy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Nintendo politely declined to work with Kanye West on a video game.
Good. Sorry.
Reggie recalled this in a meeting that they were interested and that felt that Kanye had such a passion for video game space. You guys actually remember this trailer up on screen right now? It's I think called Only One or something like that. It was a video game he was developing to bring his mom into heaven or something like that. And this is all we ever got. They never announced it being canceled, but we only ever got this one trailer for it at the Game Awards, and then it disappeared. But yeah, Reggie kind of said that, you don't want to work with us. We're incredibly difficult to work with because we expect a really high quality. And Kanye's like, Reggie, you're exactly the type of partner I want because of that reason. But yeah, they were like, we respectfully decline to work with you, Kanye.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry. I thought that was really kind of fascinating, though, that Kanye West was trying so hard at one point or another to get into the video game space.
I mean, he should have worked with Adult Swim Games. This is definitely would have been up their alley.
Yeah, but he clearly wants to make art,
Yeah.
right? And I don't know that Adult Swim Games would have really been the place to go for art. Guys, Killzone.com has been retired.
It has.
It's a shame.
Interesting.
Shame,
too.
shame. What do you think? Is this the end of Killzone? Is this mark the end?
I think it's going to
No.
be the end of it for the foreseeable future. I don't see them really returning to this IP.
Do you think that they
anytime
should?
soon. I mean, if they do, I think it's got to go away from Guerrilla. I think somebody else needs to probably try to give their own original take on it, or try to do some sort of reboot, because they are in such a freaking corner narratively with the Killzone universe. They just need to go away and just do something else.
I just think it needs to be a multiplayer title. I think you need to remove the story from it. I think you need to go for a Rainbow Six Siege type approach.
It's got a great
Is what I
atmosphere
think.
and stuff,
Okay.
yeah. Great
There's
lore.
actually a rumor for that, Tom, that I'll tell you about later. That was really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, because we don't want to screw up this rapid fire speed run. Microsoft has surveyed its user base with some polls online about DualSense features coming to Xbox. No surprise, we called this in like the first episode that they are going to try to mimic this as soon as possible.
Yeah, that was actually one of my predictions for the generation, was the fact that this is going to be the one gimmick that transcends this generation, and it's going to just become like Rumble before it. It's going to be the standard that all consoles are going to need to have.
What would be a reason for a surveyor to answer no to this and say, I don't want the DualSense features?
Somebody who's never put their hands on it and never experienced
Either that, or they don't want like the charging to be often. They want the batteries like the Xbox has now. Maybe they're real attached to that. But yeah, once you get your hands on a DualSense, you can't go back. Those features are just... they're needed now at this point. Resident Evil Village event scheduled for the 21st, but more importantly,
Vampire
Lady Mama Goth.
Importantly,
yes,
my God,
9-foot tall, sexy vampires is what we really want.
She's gonna drink the blood out of you.
Yeah. That's become really quite a phenomenon this week. Honestly, they're probably so happy right now with what's happening. The meme quality of this vampire.
I can't.
This is exactly what they want.
Tommy mommy.
Here's my thing. If you go back and look at the gameplay section that they showed there, it actually looks really decent.
It does. It does.
You
I'm
know?
excited for this. I would love to do a live reaction. Unfortunately, it's on a Thursday, so I won't be able to. I was hoping.
I really want to do a live reaction to this event.
Do it, man. Do it.
It's so tough because I'm not going to have a camera on myself.
We have 2 minutes left, and we have one topic left. Brad Sams, who often reports on Microsoft, he has reported that Microsoft, Google, and Amazon are looking to make more acquisitions. Sony and EA, not as much.
Yeah.
EA makes sense now, considering the whole code breaker situation. That makes sense.
Now, let's make one thing clear. The reason he probably knows anything about Sony and EA is because Microsoft is bidding on acquisitions, and they're not getting them because Sony is fighting back. That would be my guess, because he does not almost ever know anything about Sony. If he knows about Sony, it's in relation to Microsoft. So the good news here is that hopefully Sony is making bids as well for some of these studios. But honestly, stop! Everybody stop, please. You're going to ruin everything. Stop making acquisitions. Let's just call it. Call a truce. Everybody. The problem with that is Amazon and Google are not going to stop. And Microsoft knows it. And they've got the money. The fear is that Sony does not have the money. They can make acquisitions, but they don't have what those three have, and they really could fall behind here.
Well, they don't have the money, but I think my thing is, when you look at Sony and the way that they've been treating their developers who they work with, the fact that they're keeping studios as second-party developers who they have partnerships with, but they don't fully own them, I feel like that's a better situation for certain companies. Like, that they don't necessarily feel like they have to answer to big Sony daddy, and they still have some autonomy to themselves.
Yeah. 20 seconds, Vince?
Yeah, no. I mean, it's the same way. I don't know. I think Sony's going to grow naturally. Microsoft's going to purchase out and try to fight with Google and Amazon. It's who they label as a competitor. And I don't know. I'm not even still good with the whole Bethesda thing for Microsoft. And there's even more stuff coming out about that scares me. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, look, let's put it this way.
No!
Just my one last final thought on it is just the fact that these guys, they've bought all these companies. Thus far, they've had nothing to show for it.
Yep.
That's true. And I saw a topic actually showing the slate of exclusives for Xbox in 2021. It does not look good. It really doesn't look good at all.
It's just as dire as the launch was.
Yeah. It just shows that there's still a lot of time to wait before all of this comes to fruition, right? And you're right. We went over, technically. So we were close, though. We were like 30 seconds
close.
Over. So, but I will give 250 SP to everybody in the room. We did our best.
Woo-hoo.
Way to go, room.
Way to go, room.
And that wraps up Season 1, Episode 1 of Next Level Gamescast. Although we do have after show for Vince and myself, and maybe just myself, if you want to head out at any point.
I will be with you, man.
But we'll have a full hour after show because you guys...
I will not.
tipped over $60 tonight. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you so much for being a part of this episode of Next Level Gamescast. If you enjoyed the show, please join us again live next month. Hit that heart button here at twitch.tv/thelevelup show. Turn on notifications. Make sure you get those alerts whenever we go live with game streams or talk shows. If you're watching or listening to this as an archive, subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whichever is your service of choice. Also, very important, as you saw tonight on this episode, Discord is essential to the interactivity of our talk shows. So join us at discord.gg/thelevelupnetwork and become a part of this community even when we are not live. Make sure you get your submissions in for fake fans, NLG's Got Game, how you reviewing, halftime hedge, and earn that seasonal points. See if you have what it takes to earn the #1 spot in season 1. We're already off to a banger of a start. Duroc is leading season 1 with like 60-something thousand seasonal points. He pretty much has as many seasonal points already as he did in season 0. He's gone nuts. He's gone absolutely nuts. But he's not the only one we need to shout out. Tom, we got some other major shout outs, of course.
We certainly do, Drew. We must thank those that go above and beyond to support this show and make it possible. Our producers supporting at $25 and above, either here on Twitch or on Patreon. They are Kelly Jellyfish, Agent Vincent 4756. Hey, I think I know that guy. Baz 023S and Duroc 11. Thank you guys so much for your support, and please continue on supporting the show in any way you can. Subs, follows, and joining our Discord.
Yes, that's very important to say. Follows mean a lot, guys. You lurking even means a lot. Being here, being a part of this show, you do not need to monetarily support us. You really do not. We appreciate you just being a part of this community. Hit that follow button, though, if you enjoyed the stream, and come back. Stay a part of this community. And thank you, Tom, for the shout-outs. That is a wrap on Season 1, Episode 1. Another one down and many, many more to go. But that is not all we have on Next Level Gamescast. We do have just one more level, everybody. Each episode of Next Level Gamescast will end with a final word, and I'm actually going to take the final word this month. Kind of following up on part of what I just said, I need to take a moment to acknowledge how absolutely insane this month has been. The start of Season 1. Just in the last 17 days, you guys, there has been over $1,500 in tips. A major shout out to the main contributors of that total. We've got Duroc 11, White Topaz, and King Kurt 757. But the support did not stop with those three. Tips, cheers, and gifted subs have been nonstop this entire month. The uptick specifically this month pushed me to want to talk about this, but support on this channel from a relatively small community has been unusually strong since the very beginning. And I know I bring this up a lot, but it really can't be said enough. This community, for its numbers, is the most supportive and generous that I have ever seen on Twitch. You've helped me and the team as a whole throughout the years get new mics, a $1,000 plus camera, build a PC, get new monitors, get new keyboard and mouse, get a new chair. And now I'm rebuilding the PC, once I can get a damn 3080, with your help and support. It's honestly overwhelming, as you might have noticed on last week's stream, of $1,200 in tips in a single night when I broke down crying. You guys keep me going. Like every streamer, I've had nights or streams or weeks where I question what I'm doing here. Of course, it would be easier to just play these games at my own leisure, to not have to worry about OBS crashing or mics going stinky. That's a technical term. But there's no way I could give up on the community we've built here, the friendships we've made, and the commitment I've made to being here for you and giving it everything that I have. Your generosity and support makes it all so much more easy, and I just cannot thank you enough. Way to go, everybody, on an unbelievable start to Season 1.
Give yourselves a pat on the back, everybody.
Everybody deserves
Yay,
it.
clap, 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 clap.
Unbelievable start to Season 1. So thank you so much again for watching, everybody. We hope to see you back for Episode 2 of Season 1 next month. Let me take a look here and give you a date, actually. Next episode will happen on February 21st. So mark your calendars, the third Sunday of every month. February 21st will be Episode 2 of Season 1. You guys get to follow up with the next round in that tournament. Don't miss it, or you're going to get some scrubs that go through instead. We don't want to let that happen. Right? And
Right.
Stick around, of course, for after show if you would like. Give a follow to Vince and Tom. You can type in those commands in the chat to make sure you get those links to their channel. Check them out when they're live. They're live more often than I am at this point. So please give them the follows at their respective channels. And of course, we hope to see you throughout the week. We hope to see you next month. Until next time, take care. And as always, don't forget to
Level up.
Level up.
level up, everybody. See you on the next level.
Bye.